Friday.
Friday, mash up the place. Friday, in front of the face. Friday, red, white and black. Friday, I'm back.
Fire. Friday.
Thank God it is Friday. Thank God it is Friday, Friday. Thank God it is Friday.
Friday, mash up the place. Friday, in front of the face. Friday, red, white and black. Friday, I'm back.
Thank God it is Friday. Thank God it is Friday, Friday. Thank God it is Friday.
Fire. Friday. Fire. Friday.
Friday, mash up the place. Friday, in front of the face. Friday, red, white and black. Friday, I'm back.
Fire. Friday.
Thank God it is Friday. Thank God it is Friday, Friday. Thank God it is Friday.
Friday, mash up the place. Friday, in front of the face. Friday, red, white and black. Friday, I'm back.
Thank God it is Friday. Thank God it is Friday, Friday. Thank God it is Friday.
Fire. Friday. Fire. Friday.
Friday, mash up the place. Friday, in front of the face. Friday, red, white and black. Friday, I'm back.
Fire. Friday.
Thank God it is Friday. Thank God it is Friday, Friday. Thank God it is Friday.
Friday, mash up the place. Friday, in front of the face. Friday, red, white and black. Friday, I'm back.
Thank God it is Friday. Thank God it is Friday, Friday. Thank God it is Friday.
Fire. Friday. Fire. Friday.
Friday, mash up the place. Friday, in front of the face. Friday, red, white and black. Friday, I'm back.
Fire. Friday.
Thank God it is Friday. Thank God it is Friday, Friday. Thank God it is Friday.
Friday, mash up the place. Friday, in front of the face. Friday, red, white and black. Friday, I'm back.
Thank God it is Friday. Thank God it is Friday, Friday. Thank God it is Friday.
Fire. Friday. Fire. Friday.
Friday, mash up the place. Friday, in front of the face. Friday, red, white and black. Friday, I'm back.
Fire. Friday.
Thank God it is Friday. Thank God it is Friday, Friday. Thank God it is Friday.
Friday, mash up the place. Friday, in front of the face. Friday, red, white and black. Friday, I'm back.
Thank God it is Friday. Thank God it is Friday, Friday. Thank God it is Friday.
Fire. Friday. Fire. Friday.
Friday, mash up the place. Friday, in front of the face. Friday, red, white and black. Friday, I'm back.
Fire. Friday.
God it is Friday, Friday. Thank God it is Friday.
Friday, mash up the place. Friday, in front of the face. Friday, red, white and black. Friday, I'm back.
luxury. And you pretend you don't know they belong to me. By fraudulent means, you took them away. But you better get ready for the price you have to pay. 'Cause I'm a warrior, and I'm a freedom fighter for what I stand for, and that's my total said I'm a warrior. I am a freedom fighter. I'm gonna said I'm gonna fight on for my total freedom. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Alright. My song, your song, come on and help me sing along, people. Oh yeah. Alright. No. Wait a minute. I said, wait a minute. Is everybody alright? How can everybody be alright? Think about the people starving in Ethiopia. Think about my brothers struggling for power in South Africa. The wicked oppressor keep on trying to keep them under. Tell me, Lord, how long do my people have to suffer? Oh, I'm a warrior. I'm a fighter for what I stand for, and that's my total freedom. Said I'm a warrior, and I'm a fighter. Yes, I know I'm gonna have to fight on for my total freedom. Yeah, oh yeah. Alright. No.
Fire Friday.
Friday, mash up the place. Friday, in front the face. Friday, red, white and black. Friday, I'm back.
Fire Friday.
Thank God it is Friday. Thank God it is Friday. Thank God it is Friday.
Friday, mash up the place. Friday, in front the face. Friday, red, white and black. Friday, I'm back.
Thank God it is Friday. Thank God it is Friday. Thank God it is Friday.
Fire Friday. Fire Friday.
Friday, mash up the place. Friday, in front the face. Friday, red, white and black. Friday, I'm back.
Fire Friday.
Thank God it is Friday. Thank God it is Friday. Thank God it is Friday.
Friday, mash up the place. Friday, in front the face. Friday, red, white and black. Friday, I'm back.
Thank God it is Friday. Thank God it is Friday. Thank God it is Friday.
Fire Friday. Fire Friday.
Friday, mash up the place. Friday, in front the face. Friday, red, white and black.
Every
Friday, I'm back.
Bringing the heat with Marsha Walker. Fire Friday.
My parents' generation grew up with Royal Castle. From the first restaurant in 1968, when that distinctive, tempting aroma hit the air, they just couldn't resist. And like never before, fried chicken with a special blend of local seasonings and a one-of-a-kind flavor down to the bone. Today, Royal Castle still have that same delicious taste, and I love it too. The kids can't resist it either. Plus, they have more to enjoy. For me, the castle is more than just nice food. It's we own, part of me and you, and is the real flavor of TNT.
Fire Friday.
Friday, mash up the place. Friday, in front the face. Friday, red, white and black. Friday, I'm back.
Fire Friday.
Thank God it is Friday. Thank God it is Friday. Thank God it is Friday.
Friday, mash up the place. Friday, in front the face. Friday, red, white and black. Friday, I'm back.
Thank God it's Friday, 19 minutes past 6. What do you like the most on a Friday? What is your favorite? Your mic is on now. What is your
my.
Marsha Walker? Fire Friday.
What do you like the most on a Friday?
Friday? Well,
Oh gosh,
just an
Corky,
ordinary day.
We had to tell the audience why I might start to sneeze. Tell them what I
Sneeze?
do us right before. Oh gosh, and I see Corky. Oh, Corky. I'll come in here and I'll take. Well, so he switched my mic last minute, right, Joel?
Yes, yes.
So, you know, we have COVID. As he switched the mic, I take the
Straight up,
disinfectant
yes,
spray
yes.
and I spray.
No, well, I wasn't on the mic. It was Big Rich was on the mic before us.
But either way, I decided I'm going to spray the mic.
But Big Rich is
I'm now
good.
in here. All I'm smelling is that's all. If I break out in season, I'm still smelling remnants of the disinfectant spray.
You're good, you're good. Don't worry.
All right. Corky, you know what has happened,
Yes.
right? Y'all, I don't put on my headphones, so I don't get to hear that Fire Friday. I find that's
Okay.
not fair. Because I find it's kind of give, you know, a little bit of the vibe. Corky, where you going? Corky going already?
No.
What you doing? Why you closing it? You don't like to see outside? But I'll find the view is so cool. Or they can't see, or they can see inside.
In the night, people would see us.
But they can see on the camera. They just need to log into Facebook and they can see us, Corky.
It's just, you know,
But
me.
I find it so cool. It gives me the feeling, you know, when you're watching those big shows, like on those big international
But you can't see all day in the
channels,
night really too good. In the
I can
daylight.
see all the cars passing by. In fact, you know, I see when my husband pulls up in the car park.
Okay.
Yeah, you see, Corky giving me so now I'm gonna watch your
But I won't
screen
see
and pretend
someone's-
that I'm seeing you all.
And me.
You think people are gonna do that?
But it's a crazy world.
It is a crazy world.
Yeah.
It is a crazy country.
You remember Mr. Roberts? He was on the motorcade
Tell us about
and he
Mr.
was
Roberts.
shot.
Oh
And
yes.
he's got some. He showed me the spots where the bullet went. Pop, 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 pop. Some kind of,
my,
you know.
yes.
So you know what I'm saying.
Oh jeez. You know that's true. During the
Yeah.
campaign, to be honest, we started off, and this is so unfortunate. This is not where I was going, but it all has to do with Rowley anyway. When you think about it, but during the campaign,
Yes.
you know, we started off very early walking. You know, before the whole election and silly season behavior. And it was just myself, my husband, the two girls, you know, we had our little UNC umbrella,
Right.
walking house to house, meeting people, you know, a real easy Sunday evening kind of vibe.
Yes.
And that to me, you know, a lot of people liked that they knew who I was personally and they got to meet my family, you know, that kind of thing. Getting into it now, when silly season really started, you know, threats and whatnot. And of course, sometimes when we go walking, you know, they would block our area. Now, by and large, having grown up in Diego Martin West and seeing that normally, by and large, it was different. I was received in places, never thought that UNC could walk. But there were some places where it was still too dangerous to carry the girls. You know, they'd block the area and they're not having you. You're not coming to walk. You're not and I was not prepared to pay no tax to walk in nobody area. Right? And I always tell people that, you know, that.
Yes.
And all of that, I mean, well, this might lend actually well into what you know, I wanted to talk about today to open.
Yes, yes.
But I always talk about, gosh, my phone on vibrate. Let me put it on mute.
Vibrate. Oh,
Yes.
Right.
But I put on mute because, you know, the vibration these days so loud. It's best you have on your phone because you hear it so loud anyway.
Okay.
Yes, and we have a UNC, one of the subcommittees meeting. I'm gonna tell you, UNC does meet. You see that woman, Kamla, Persad-Bissessar?
Tell me about
Our
her.
beloved political leader.
Yes.
Hey, she could put it to work, you know.
Well,
Friday, you know.
Alan says
we
a
working.
lot about her, so I want to hear your view of her.
Okay, well, right. So I will go into that. So I'm gonna
Yes.
because I see so much, and until you've lived it, you really don't understand, right? And you know, I
Yeah.
always tell people, I always say, "Oh gosh, I like a broken record." I grew up in PNM country, so I was brainwashed into the same UNC, PNM, same difference,
Right.
Kamla this, Kamla that. I was already brainwashed. I tell all about it. Section 34 brainwashed me. I stay home. 2015, I did not vote. Right?
Yes.
The biggest lie ever was Section 34. The biggest lie. Because they twisted those truths so much. It's ridiculous. But oh gosh, we're going all over the place. Because we were talking about why you close my blind and why I can't see
Yes,
outside.
yes.
And
Yes.
why, like, and my mother is always, she don't like the kind of thing where people know exactly where I'm going to be on a Friday, that kind of thing, because she experienced what inside politics, inside the belly of frontline politics really is.
Yes.
Because, I championed a few causes here and there, and then I worked for one of their committees behind the scenes and stuff like that. Totally different to when you decide you big and bad and you're going up against the prime minister in an election. So things really are different. And, where we would really love, gosh, I used to have the children on Facebook all the time. I still put them sometimes, but I have to be so aware because it's not cool, and it's taken away that personal touch that a lot of the younger ones want to bring to politics. I mean, and during the 2020 elections, the political leader used to put out some stories. And I've spoken about a few of them. But, she would put out stories about her and her husband.
Yes.
And I fell in love with those stories. And, I mean, as a mother, as a wife, we see a lot of successful, female women. But sometimes you turn around and, they're not married, or they're divorced, sadly, or they've chosen between a family and career. And there's something about Kamla Persad-Bissessar, somewhere, somehow, she and her husband have been able to rally through together this disgusting, nasty game of politics.
Yes.
And I would love nothing more than to one day I'll go take my drive to the Philippines and sit with her and learn from her. And a lot of people say, her time is up and whatnot, and they don't understand how much she still has to offer and how much we really do look up to her. I look up to her, as I said, as somebody who is a wife and a mother. And I feel as though she hasn't lost her feminine touch. Oh gosh, shout out to them shoes. She wore like the cutest shoes in Parliament on Wednesday. But I always find she's so well dressed, I don't know if I should tell people who, I don't know if I should talk about who's design her and thing, But I know she might be listening. So if you're listening, Sally. So she's kept that gentle touch.
Yes.
And of course, again, PNM spins that PNM propaganda wheel. So because they've held on to Eric Williams being the father of the nation, they don't like the idea that UNC have a mother of the nation. They don't like that the first female prime minister was not a PNM, come from UNC. So they have to find a way now to take her gentleness. And you had to play the song for me. Don't take my weakness,
don't take my kindness
for weakness. Yes. Right. Because what they've done is they have portrayed this gentleness that she has. And mind you, as I say, it is gentleness, but that's where I see that real motherly lioness kind of leader. I always say there's a reason God put the woman to go and hunt. Male lions, you think about them, their mane is so majestic and they like to come and gallivant themselves and make sure all the man lions see that, listen, there's my tribe, don't come wrong, and they have this roar, and when they roar, other man must know back off. But they can't hunt because that same ego that secures the tribe.
Yes.
Listen, they go alert every predator. So you have this lioness whose physique is designed to slither, go in between the bush, stoop low. But when she's stooping low, it's not because she giving up. It's not because she taking a rest. She is stooping low because she getting ready to pounce. And that is what I see in Kamla Persad-Bissessar. I don't have to ray and gallivant and get on all over the place, right? I during the virtual rally when she say, and I found it was so effective. Oh gosh, leave your wife out it now, leave your children out it now. Any man will do that. And I just found it was like whoa, So she has those moments where you get a real mommy buff, which is the same kind of thing I was saying. I'm missing out one of our committee meetings tonight. Because she called a meeting on a Friday and all man Jack fall in line. We know we have a meeting on a Friday. and she wants a report on Monday, and it best not be late.
Right.
Right? And that is something that I really have a problem with in Trinidad. And I always come back to parenting, because that, I guess, is my passion. And that's where I believe. I believe that parenting is the foundation, the family life is the foundation of any society.
Yes.
So if we continue to have this kind of plantation-style parenting, we will we all that we know about leadership is massa. And we have to get out of that thinking that massa is the only type of leader. So unless you're strong and you're wrong and strong to boot, because that's what massa was. Massa was wrong and strong. So the only example that we seem to have had is this massa type leadership. And so we watch the Prime Minister come and listen. And this is where we go in. And we'll go. I promise we're going with this nonsense. But he wants to answer when UNC asked the question in Parliament about mandatory vaccination. He wants to play smart with foolishness and say, well, we have no mandatory vaccination. You could call it coerced. You could call it choose between a jab and a job. You could call it what you want. It is what it is. And I go use your own minister words, substance over form. If you identify as a restaurant, identify as a restaurant. Don't be identifying as anything else. If that's what you're registered as, stop trying to find loopholes. You are trying to find loopholes with the truth. And that is what PNM does all the time. They find loopholes with the truth. And anytime you find loopholes with the truth, it is a lie. There is no 90% truth. There is no, well, it's 99% truth. Anytime you hold on to the 1% and say, well, I'm going to tell that part of the story, what you've done is told a lie. Until you put the whole thing together and tell everything in context, etc., what you've done is told a lie. Right? And that is what PNM like to do. So the man answer in Parliament, he don't know about no mandatory vaccination because no government putting in mandatory vaccination. Because, of course, that's not the term they use.
Right.
Oh, my goodness, what you're doing is mandatory vaccination. The substance of what you are doing is mandatory vaccination. Stop it.
Right.
And that is the kind of ridiculous answers that he comes across with. So I'm going to use mandatory vaccination because I am not trying to play smart with none of your shippiness. And those that drink the Balize juice, which honestly is just like poison, and I wish they could see it. And listen, any blind loyalty to party is poison.
You said it tastes like poison?
I didn't say it tastes like poison.
Oh,
I said it is poison.
Oh, okay.
Because when you, and as I say, I don't believe in blind loyalty to anything. Okay. Right? Even, I mean, Corky, I say I love my Jesus.
Yes.
But
we all do.
When I was older, I had questions. Right? I started off as one denomination and I swapped. And I even wanted to go away from Christianity on the whole. Because I needed questions answered. Right? There were certain things in the Bible that certain traditions were not matching up with. And it wasn't making sense to me.
Yes.
Now, you know what? Again, when you like to twist the truth, and when you're afraid of, it's really insecurity. Anybody who acts arrogant and gets on like that and gaslights and tries to force you to just be blindly loyal, really and truly, those are the ones that you should be afraid of, because those are the insecure ones, and those are the ones chances are cocoa in the sun. That's why they shout at you and make sure you don't feel confident enough to ask the questions.
Yes.
Right? So I did that, and and throughout you would find who the good leaders were because they encouraged me to continue to look. They applauded that curiosity to really study the Bible, to go and learn the Greek, to go and learn the Hebrew, to go and understand what the original context was. So that when you come and quote something for me and you're quoting it with a certain slant, what you are doing is telling a lie.
Right.
Because when you have taken my words and quoted it out of context, so that you put a spin on something that you know very well wasn't what I intended, you're lying. That's what you're doing. And so, that is why, again, I believe in political education. That's why I be here on a Friday, no matter what. Because I genuinely believe that you should never follow anybody blindly. So anyways, going back to Mr. Arrogant, I did a video. He had to be drunk with arrogance. Because as Trinidadians and Tobagonians, as I said, we seem to mistake arrogance for strength. So we somehow think that he's done what needed to be done. He's a strong leader. So he made this decision that, choose between a jab and a job. And listen, This is not whether vaccines work, they don't work, whether we pro-vaccine or not. This is what people do not understand. It's not a conversation about the vaccine. It's a conversation between our democratic right of choice. It is a right of choice. Whose right should be trampled upon? Because some people say, well, I have a right to safety. Well, if you have a right to safety, then you be the one to stay home. If you don't think that you're safe among unvaccinated people, how do you sit and say, well, okay, so Corky, pretend you unvaccinated and I vaccinated. And both are we here. And I say, well, I have a right to be safe. I vaccinated, so you stay home. And you say, well, I have a right to earn an income. I unvaccinated. And if you think you're not safe, well, you stay home. How do you determine whose viewpoint is right? Because both are constitutional. You have a right to earn an income and I have a right to be safe. And you have taken the steps to earn an income by coming out to work. To earn an income, you must be on time, you must be efficient, you must follow the guidelines of the contract, and you can't. That's why we have laws, we have labor laws, and we have unions, and we have all these things. Because humans will try how they want to take advantage. Right? And that's why we have laws. And we've seen in the UK, and we've seen in the US, and we've seen it all over the world, they're overturning all these ridiculous laws about job or job. Because you hired me, I am doing the job you hired me to do with the conditions that you've hired. And until you start to ask me whether I have a HPV test, whether I do, because the flu kills people, the common flu, not the common cold, but the flu. And every year, they come and they tell you, take the vaccine. How many people take the vaccine? And do employers come and say, well, if you don't take the flu vaccine, you can't come to work? Right? Do they come and say, if you don't take the measles vaccine, you can't come to work? Because we have a right to certain things, and that's enshrined in our Constitution. So the same way that other people, the vaccinated crew, say, they have a right to safety, we respect your right to safety. And a good leader would find a way to be able to work with everyone, to consult with everyone, and in difficult situations, be creative enough to find win-win situations. And I understand that this is an exhausting time that leaders are in. I do. But here's the thing. Keith Rowley knew that COVID, in 2015, he could have said, well, oh my gosh, I didn't expect this, right? So come 2020, I bow and out to no partner because me and plan to run the country through no pandemic. But you came in 2020 and you campaigned on nothing but COVID. That was your only thing, that the numbers was low and blah, blah, blah and all kind of stuff. So you told the country that you were successful in managing it and that you wanted the job to manage it. So when you come now and you say, just give me a break, you remember when he said that? Just give me a break. No, well, we can. We want to give you a break. We want you to call elections now and get out if you cannot do it, because we do understand it's a hard time. We understand that it's a hard time to be a leader, right? I have put a lot of different posts out as a mother where it's a difficult time as women to be helpmates to husbands right now. It's a difficult time as men. You all will figure out by now I'm very traditional. I do believe in rules. Does not mean that we are not equal, but I do believe in God-given rules, right? So I always say, the circumstances are against families right now. When a man cannot provide because Keith Rowley can't make this economy work, right? It's difficult on a man to come home and say, nothing today again, babe. That is very difficult on a man whose God-given feelings, it's in his DNA. A man, just like what I talk about lions, right? It's in his DNA to provide. It's in his DNA. No man named man. When a bullet come, go push the children in front of the bullet. It's a natural thing for the man. Corky, tell me if I'm right or wrong. It's a natural thing. There's jump in front first.
Sheila.
That's because it's a natural thing in our DNA, right? And just the same way, women have a natural gentleness and whatnot and stuff. Don't mind my husband, is a little bit, sometimes the more gentle one in our home. But, where was good? Right. So, it's a difficult time in families right now where they need to really unite and band together and fight and become, and not fight with each other, but fight the forces that are coming at them. You know, you have to figure out, a mother is frustrated at home. She wants a night out, but you can't have a night out because you can't bring nobody into the home. That is real. Let me tell you, that is so real. Because we have a 2-year-old, so she's not able to be vaccinated. So whether we think the vaccine working or not working, she's not even able to be, right? And these new variants, you're starting to see them affecting children and babies more. I have zero confidence in our health system. So I'm not letting my little 2-year-old reach in the hospital.
But ever since the
and all
healthcare
of that.
system was bad, and
But it's-
what
no, but
would
you
make
know,
it better now?
Here's the thing. It definitely was ill prepared because it
Yeah.
wasn't like it was the best in the world. Don't mind, some people like to say it was the best in the
No, it was never good.
CARICOM and whatever.
You always hear complaints.
But it will take time because there are things that the UNC would have done when they came into power,
Right.
right? And it's a very, I mean, this is where the education comes in.
Yes.
I remember asking for a list of what the UNC did specifically in terms of health care.
Yeah.
Well, I changed my phone, so now I know I go and find it back for you if I want to read it, right?
Yeah.
But one, they put more beds. You know, you have to increase the capacity, basically,
Yes. Yes.
right? You have to increase, and beds does not necessarily mean, you know, like a physical bed. They have different things that constitute what a bed entails, right? So you must increase your capacity to serve. You can't, so for instance, you know, when you talk about, okay, what is our population size? How many people do you need to be able to serve this population size? How many beds do you need? How many nurses, etc., etc.? Then you have industrial relations. Are our nurses happy? Right? I saw in Parliament that the last time wage negotiations was settled was under Kamla Persad-Bissessar in 2012. Right? And that is where we talk about the balancing act. So again, as a husband, he can't just come and say, well, Jesse, you can't get this. Sarah, you can't get that. Marsha, you can't get that. You can't get that. You can't get that. And buff me and say, where am I finding money from? That's not going to work.
Right.
It's not going to work. Right? One, if we see that he's trying his best, then you'll also get buy-in. But you can't be lying on the couch all day eating chips and then tell me you're trying your best. So when I see a prime minister playing the number of golf matches that he plays, it rubs us the wrong way. Because you are telling the country to tighten your belt, but you still have time in the middle of the day to play golf. You have to understand that those things send a message. And that's why I said he was drunk with arrogance in the little TikTok video I did. Because it's not a matter of whether we being trivial with him drinking in public and breaking the public health regulations, and it's so trivial. It's not a matter of being trivial. Because, Corky, you very well know, if a police officer had caught you and I drinking in public,
Yeah, you lock
fine
up.
in retail. And that is what the issue is. It's either a trivial and nobody getting caught for it and nobody getting fined for it, or you get fined.
Yes.
And when you get fined, you could still come and say, this is to show you just how easy, and you could still make all your points about it. But you are clearly not reading the room when you think you could come and say, well, I broke regulations, and then expect that you could get away with it. It's a small fine, pay a fine. Put it into the kitty, because every bucket I drop, every drop fill the bucket.
Yeah.
So fill the kitty. You take your fine and fill the kitty too. And that is where that arrogance, that leading with arrogance, right? And that is a problem. He does not have, he's not on the ground. He's not on the ground. He office closed, so clearly he's not on the ground. He don't meet with constituents, so clearly he's not on the ground. He does not understand the mood of the country, and he's not understanding the mood as a father, as a leader. How to lead with that compassion. How to really show that, hey, I am this with you. When you could come and say, there are stories where people, one mother had told a story where she took off her mask to eat in her car. She's in the car with her child. and they want to fine the woman.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, people have been fined for the kind of stupidness, but it's breaking the law, stick strict to the law, right? But now you're telling people want to say, well, we're being trivial. It's not a matter of being trivial. It's a matter of reading the room and showing the country that, hey, I am in this thing with you. I feel your pain. So that way you could have genuinely said you feel our pain, because a little lapse in judgment. So you could show that, listen, I understand that everybody has that lapse in judgment, and I pay my fine the same way. But now you come to say, well, everybody have a little lapse in judgment. But when you have a little lapse in judgment, you go pay $2,000. When I have a little lapse in judgment, I get away, and then come and make a joke on national TV. And, it's like you're flaunting it. You are literally putting it out there to be like, nah, nanny, boo, boo, I could get away with it, and you can't.
It's a diversion.
Well, I don't even think this one is a distraction. I think, because, he thinks he's being charming. And this is where, like, I mean, I remember back in the days when I used to club and sing, and you have these guys that come and they really think they're being charming. And they are being obnoxious. And in no way are you charming. Your arrogance needs to just, like, take a chill pill. So I don't know if it was some kind of charming moment. And that is where the Balizé juice comes in. Because it's almost as though the Balizé posse drunk on Balizé juice. So while an arrogant fool coming and making pass at you, you giggling, and you have nothing to offer. That is how I'm seeing this playing off, and it is so exhausting, Corky, because Peter had to pay for Paul, an election of consequences.
Wow.
And it's as though they cannot see through this nonsense. And it is beyond frustrating, because we should be out in our numbers calling for elections to be tomorrow. He needs to step down. Listen, the UK president, right?
Yes.
Prime Minister. He threw a little party and whatnot at a time when the country was on lockdown.
Yes.
You think he getting away from that? And that's where I was going. So I wanted to read an article, piece of the article at least, right? Because this is where we as citizens have a part to play in this. So, in the UK, so this is an article that was in the Newsday 2 days ago. In the UK, folks in public life are sent packing if found to have violated their oaths of office. Moreover, no law needs to be broken. Listen to how high a standard they hold their politicians. The spirit of the law, or largely unenforceable rules, once flouted, is enough to trigger sanctions. Unflinching integrity in politicians, or anyone for that matter, is not an unreasonable ask. As a result, a robust culture of accountability chastens venal politicians. And that, when we think about it, is the crux of the matter. And that's why I say that Balizé juice is toxic, and that blind loyalty. And so I want to go back now. I'm going to read something again. I'm going to read another part of it, right? Because then I'm going to compare. Because you say Anil talk about Kamla all the time. And this is where I'm going to talk about Kamla. Right? So he goes on now to talk about Al-Rawi. Al-Rawi has displayed a pattern of questionable behavior in office from the onset of his tenure. It would be a mistake to pin it all on the Attorney General, as his survival depends on a culture of extreme contempt for accountability and a double standard that rewards the politically connected. Right? In the UK, politicians wield tremendous power and influence. That power is held in check by the media and citizens who take their role in good governance seriously. Let me read that part again.
Right.
Who taking the role in government seriously? The media and the citizens. So you see, when our citizens like to say they don't like politics and they don't get involved in politics, then unfortunately, those citizens are part of the problem. Because hear it, and this is a Trinidadian writing,
Yes.
a Trinidadian journalist.
Yes.
That power is held in check by the media and citizens who take their role in good governance seriously. And that's where we need to get to as citizens. We've got to take our role seriously and not take the role seriously for one party and not for the next. So he ends now. This is his final point in the article. By stark contrast, certain politicians in Trinidad and Tobago get away with murder because of largely timid media houses and citizens whose outrage waxes and wanes depending on who is accused of the offense. And that is what I want to talk about. Now, he used the word integrity. When Kamla Persad-Bissessar was Prime Minister Corky,
Yes.
they had a little phrase she used to tell her cabinet members: go clear your name and come back. When she fired people, it wasn't that she was admitting to guilt, you know. What she was doing was holding our country and the Westminster system to the highest level of integrity. And the PNM propaganda wheel took that and spin it into, well, look, they're guilty. No, partner, it's 15 years later and Ish and Steve still not behind bars. And if we check it properly, the only time they spend any jail time is actually when Kamla Persad-Bissessar was the Prime Minister. The Attorney General who signed the extradition order was Anand Ramlogan, a UNC Attorney General. And the case was in PNM hands long before UNC come into power. So why it is we does allow the PNM propaganda wheel to pin Section 34 on us? Section 34 was voted on by Keith Christopher Rowley. In fact, during the debate, they claimed it as theirs. They said, well, this was ours. We laid it in Parliament. That bill, that piece of legislation was not, unlike paragraph 4, when Wade Mark come and say, scrap that legislation. We said it. They had to scrap it in the end, but we call it long time. That wasn't the case for Section 34. Section 34 passed in the upper house, lower house, everywhere, unanimously. Nobody even abstained. They said, yay. The yeas had it. But nobody does go and tell Keith Rowley, hush, you can't talk about Section 34 because you vote for it. Nobody's going to tell PNM, but wasn't Ish and Steve charged under your watch? You were in government. Why didn't your Attorney General sign the extradition? In fact, if you dig deep, you will see that the reason they even had a case to challenge the extradition is because of a PNM Attorney General's letter. He is the one who caused the case in the first place. But all they want to come and spin the truth. Why? Because Kamla Persad-Bissessar did the right thing. And once there is, and do I need to read again that part of the article in the UK? Because that's who we come from. That's the mother of our parliament. That's how our system was birthed. So you don't even need to break a law. Once you have brought your office into disrepute, that is grounds to trigger something, to trigger sanctions. And that is what Kamla Persad-Bissessar did. And that is why there is a concerted effort between third party, no party, ex-party, PNM party. That is why there's a concerted effort to never see that woman in Parliament again as Prime Minister. Because they know she's not prepared to join no corrupt boys club. She's not prepared. She was not prepared then and she's not prepared now. She took the stands. Go clear your name and come back. And nobody's saying you can't come back. But you must clear your name. Right? You see how Anil clear his name and he could come back? Right? My name wasn't naming nothing, so I clear. He hands washed from that. You could come back. That is all she asked. That we hold our country, our politics, our politicians, our citizens must be held to the highest level of integrity. That's all. Unlike this PNM government, When the media ask him about Al Rawi and Schoon and Ocean Gate and oh my gosh, how many times is he going to be in another scandal? His family has found a way to pay themselves millions of dollars legally. It appears as though that is the law that they seem to be interested in passing. How can we fill our pockets legally? It appears so to me. I mean, and I keep saying Keith Rowley is the one who talk about the O'Halloran stain, and you got rid of Manning and say that you have to break the mold of PNM corruption. Now it is your turn. Tell your people, go clear your name and come back. And quite frankly, you need to clear your name and come back because we still want to know about this whole Alan Warner, Inez Gate. We need to know all these things. And we have to go on a break because when we come back, I'm going and take on Keith Rowley now too. Because there's plenty names how to clear.
I'm getting frightened now.
Well, there's names how to clear, man.
Yes.
And as I said, that to me, when I do my digging, and that is the political education, that is the role of citizens in keeping our democracy in check. That is the role that citizens play in governance. You must not fall for propaganda. You must not fall for propaganda. We're going to talk about Miss World and the propaganda. And how once again, all that strangers the truth. Why does the truth affect us? Why?
The truth hurts.
Well, listen. It will continue to hurt us until we face it. Until we face it, our truth will continue to be poverty because the kind of money that passed through this country, instead of being mad at Mr. Trinidad and Tobago for telling all you how much little children sleeping on mattress, all they should be vexed with the politicians who boom after boom after boom. PNM was in government for 30 years. They were the foundation of this country. And thanks to UNC, we have a Heritage and Stabilization Fund to dip into today. You telling me after 30 years the PNM didn't think to create a savings fund for a rainy day? All the talk we talk about is UNC create that fund, that rainy day fund. It was their vision. Imagine if they didn't come into power where we would have been. We might have not had a rainy day fund, and God help us where we would be. These are the things we must do. Go past the propaganda. And yes, it hurts. It hurts because you don't want to admit that the father of the nation, who you believed gave you independence, really and truly, that is about all he gave you. But he set you up for failure. And these are the hard truths that we have to face. I said it last week. Sometimes we have to say to our abusers, loyalty just is not enough. You know, what's love got to do with it? You know, Tina Turner? Right? You know, sometimes love just isn't enough. There has to be a reciprocation of that love. We gotta go on a break. When I come back, I'm gonna get some time to drink some water and cool down.
Yes.
You know, when I talk about Rowley, let's get mad.
Yes.
Don't go anywhere. Marsha Walker, Fire Friday!
My parents' generation grew up with Royal Castle. From the first restaurant in 1968, when that distinctive, tempting aroma hit the air, they just couldn't resist. And like never before, fried chicken with a special blend of local seasonings and a one-of-a-kind flavor down to the bone. Today, Royal Castle still have that same delicious taste, and I love it too. The kids can't resist it either. Plus, they have more to enjoy. For me, the castle is more than just nice food. It's we own, part of me and you, and is the real flavor of TNT.
The Local Palooza Show and Countdown.
Now showing on MCTV.
Hosted by TNT's Rock Ambassador, Bees High Five, the Metal Merchant. See and hear all your favorite local rock bands. Keep it rock alive. Rhythms Communications Network. Local Palooza Show and Countdown on MCTV. The Local Palooza Show and Countdown.
Now showing on MCTV.
Island Hobbies, Ryson Road, Port of Spain, has the largest variety of toys in the Caribbean and South America. No one can beat our prices. If you see it cheaper anywhere else, prove it and we will beat it. Island Hobbies, Ryson Road, Port of Spain. Le Grand Coulon Spa Resort at Stonehaven Bay, Blackrock. Bed and breakfast rates available. To book, Call 283-2597 or 463-2946. The Grand Couloir Spa Resort at Stonehaven Bay, Blackrock.
I don't watch people, man.
Are you ready for On the Road This Carnival 2022 with U975 and MCTV? U975 FM Hot Like Pepper Radio and MCTV present On the Road 2022. This carnival as we take to various bars every Friday until Carnival. Come and meet our on-air DJs, presenters, and enjoy live soca and chutney performances. Keep listening to U975 and viewing MCTV for our weekly listing of the bars in your area. All COVID protocols are observed and adhered to. On the Road 2022 with U975 and MCTV coming to a bar near you.
I don't watch people, man.
Fresh Street Market, your neighborhood supermarket.
Number 3 Andrew Lane, corner Churchill Roosevelt Highway and Andrew Lane, Derby, Mousica.
Opening hours.
Saturday 7:30 a.m. to 7:30 p.m.
Sundays 8 a.m. to 6:30 p.m. When you think about fresh produce and good quality food, come to Fresh Street Market, your neighborhood supermarket.
Number 3 Andrew Lane, corner Churchill Roosevelt Highway and Andrew Lane, Derby, Mousica.
Spirit of the sovereign Lord, come and make your presence known, reveal the glory of the living God.
This is Prophetess Alicia Design Pramsuk with Ruach, Fire for the Nations Pentecostal Church. And I'm going to be on U97.5 FM, Hot Like Pepper multicultural radio station from 6 a.m. to 8 a.m. every Saturday morning. This is where you can catch the fire. The Word of God declares that Jesus said, "These signs shall follow them that believe." Signs and wonders and miracles. If you need deliverance, then you need to tune in to this radio station on Saturday morning where the fire of God will be falling and the glory of God will be manifesting. I want to see you there, and I will see you there with the glory of God. See you there.
Let the weight of your glory fall.
Come to the Waves Restaurant and Bar, Grafton Beach, Black Rock, Tobago. Great ambience, fantastic prices, all COVID protocols observed. Full premium bar available. Call Waves at 731-4646 to make your reservation. Come dine with the Waves Restaurant and Bar, Grafton Beach, Black Rock, Tobago. You must be vaccinated to dine in.
Sport is in trouble. What can be done to save sports in TNT? Join host Gordon Pear on Sports Insight every Monday and Wednesday on MCTV from 4:30 p.m. as he identifies the problems, look for solutions, and points the way forward. Sports Insight, where we talk to the coaches, athletes, administrators, and of course, you the fans, as we bring positive change through sport.
douglAR Radio is now on U97.5 FM Hot Like Pepper Multicultural Radio, Monday to Friday, 6:15 p.m. to 9 p.m. with Anil Roberts, bringing you the facts on politics and up-to-date information. Also taking your calls on 218-7762. douglAR Radio on U97.5 FM Hot Like Pepper Multicultural Radio, 6:15 p.m. to 9 p.m. Monday to Friday.
Get ready for the revolution. Come on, what you say?
Sponsored by Royal Castle.
Marsha Walker. Join me on U975, Hot Like Pepper and douglAR Radio every Friday for Fire Friday. Fire Friday.
Friday, mash up the place. Friday, in front of the face. Friday, red, white, and black.
Tell me when I'm on there.
Yes, you're on the air.
Listen, I went and I drank some water.
Yes.
A little calm. I'm going to try to stay a little calm. But Corky, that is the difference. Yes. All of that was to tell you one big difference.
Yes.
Was that Kamla Persad-Bissessar believed in go clear your name and come back. Rowley believes in twisting and turning. When listen,
He likes his name called.
I don't know what it is.
But he said he went and drank
No,
a bad.
but you know what it is?
Yes.
It's arrogance, and this writer, this columnist, was spot on. Because we have fed the monster. We have fed the beast. We have allowed him to think that he can do what he wants
And he's doing
and stay
it.
in power.
And he's doing it.
Right? You look at some of the poorest communities.
Yes.
Oh gosh. When I was walking through Diego Martin West during the campaign,
Yes.
my husband, because he knows me well, when I see that kind of poverty, I cry. This morning, Avenel Hector, she actually went up against Rowley too, in Diego Martin West. She is the chief servant at Is There Not a Cause, so it's an NGO. We have to ask ourselves, if the NGOs and the people who are on the ground are not disagreeing with Miss Trinidad and Tobago, then there has to be some kind of truth. Right? I mean, 2011 stats spoke about 9,000 people, I think was the number, living on less than $1.20 a day. And then they go up to, 60,000 living what's called multi-dimensional poverty. Then we've seen some of the latest, and the problem, and here's the problem, the latest data, why it is 2011, again, look at the time, who was in power then? Kamla, Persad-Bissessar. Because unless you face the harsh truths, we're not going to fix it. Now, you have the governor of the central bank and other economists, Marlene Atz from UE, she's come out and she's spoken about the lack of data, right? The governor spoke about the culture of secrecy, and he said, we don't know poverty because we don't want to. Where is the data? If the PNM government was serious about fighting poverty, then they would produce the data. But what's coming out of all of these economists, all of these camps, is that if data were genuinely produced, it would be an indictment to the PNM, which is why they're hiding it. And I had to come back to my favorite show, How to Be a Tyrant on Netflix, because that was something that China had done. When you control poverty and you pretend that it's not as bad as it is, just like what you did with COVID to win the elections, you fix data to is that what they're doing? And that's why we have no trust in them, of course, Kokian, and that, I don't want to go into COVID, but that's why vaccine hesitancy is low. It have nothing to do with misinformation. It have to do with lack of information. Right? When the Minister of Health bongs on people, but I ain't going there, because people get into accidents. I hope that, I didn't see his, to be honest, I didn't read his press release, because I don't even want to hear from them anymore. Right? I don't even want to hear from them anymore, because nothing that comes out of their mouth is true. So why do I need to hear from you? Because you're just going to lie to me. And when the Minister of Health could come to Parliament and say that nowhere in the world record side effects, little injection, pain in the injection spot and stuff, and then you could Google, a simple Google, you Google side effects in Canada, and they talk about the warmth, a little warmth on the spot. They give you everything. And they go into explaining to citizens, they are actually pleading with citizens to bring every single little side effect to them, because they understand that once they do that, they can properly address things. And when you show that to a nation, then you will get buy-in. Give me all the information and let me make my decision. But when it is clear to us, because we're not stupid, the whole population not drunk on Balizé juice. The whole population is not drunk on Balizé juice. And this is where I need to speak to my swing voters in Diego Martin West. The only people that are drunk on Balizé juice is less than 50%. I mean, even if they purposely intoxicate people, the most them getting is a 40%. So that's where those who believe that UNC and PNM no difference go and find out, because your 10%, your 20%, honestly will make the difference. And as I said, listen, even in 2019, Corky, is every time elections come, you know, the only thing that they could talk about is Section 34. That's the only thing they could talk about. And 15 years later, they don't even have enough information to bring the case before the High Court. And nobody's asking the question. I want the next time somebody talk about Section 34 to y'all, please say the Section 34 that Rowley vote for. That's all I want you to answer. When they say Section 34, just reply to them, you mean the Section 34 that Rowley vote for? The Section 34 Imbert vote for? The Section 34 Hines vote for? It's all of them was in there and vote for Section 34, so Section 34 not in. Right? And when they talk about Ish and Steve is UNC financiers, well, ask them, tell PNM if they brave, pass financing legislation. Because the last I hear, Ish Galbransing and Jack Warner was in a Rohanson and birthday party. He like his presence wrapped up in legal battles, clearly. So again, the next time somebody talk about Ish and Steve is alleged UNC financiers, tell PNM that they've been in power they have been in power 75%. They're the only ones who have a back-to-back term. So they're the ones who could go all the way back and fix legislation. Tell them pass the financing legislation. Maybe that is why they don't want to pass it. Because maybe, just maybe, we will get the shock of our lives to find out these UNC financiers might be really financing everybody. Because as I say, Ish Galbransing was in Rohanson and who is a PNM minister, in case we don't know. And he's the minister of works. Funny. Just look at which ministry he have. And Ish Galbransing and Jack Warner was in his birthday party. And he admitted, you could, no. I know, can't remember. It was his 50th birthday party. So however old he is now, it was then. But they were in power, PNM. It was around, actually no, I can't tell you the date. But the article is there. You could literally, you can find it, Google. If you Google, it was on Wired 868, but it was all over the place. You know, Google it. Jack Warner and Ish Galbransing was at Rohanson and on birthday party. The media got wind of it. They asked him, and he admitted they're good friends of his. Right. And they're good friends of his. So now all they have two things. Pass the legislation so we could see who your financiers are. Is that why you don't want to pass the legislation? Because you don't want us to see who your financiers are? So then that way you will never have again to say UNC financiers. And answer why it is the only time Ish and Steve spent jail time was when Kamla was in power. Ask them why it is the person who signed the extradition form was a UNC Attorney General. Ask them why they didn't sign the extradition form. If Section 34 was genuinely done, not for the young men and young women who rotten away in prison, because we spoke about that last week, Corky. 10, 15, 20 years you sitting down in prison and you can't get your day in court. Well, it's best I come to court and just say guilty, because I might spend less time in jail doing my guilty sentence than waiting on my day in court. And that can't be right. And that is all that bill was about, Corky. Yes. All the bill was about was to say, it can't be right. Our justice system must get their act together.
Yes.
Justice delayed is justice denied. Our constitution is innocent until proven guilty. You must prove your guilt, not your innocence. So when you have a young man who goes in there at 18 years old and comes out 20 years later, you have taken the best of his life. And then to say, well, he innocent? No, man. I would come out there, and he's human. Could you imagine the hate built up in that man? Could you imagine what he has had to learn to do to survive in a prison cell? So we sentenced somebody who wasn't a criminal, and I guarantee you, after 20 years waiting to hear that, oh shucks, you was really innocent.
Probably learn a lot inside there.
Exactly, and he didn't learn the right things. So that is what Section 34, the heart of it was for. But because of politics, and that's why Anna like to say, election have consequences. Because of PNM propaganda, we missed out on an opportunity. Because as I say, the bill, and when you talk about proclamation, and because that's the nonsense they will come with, oh, why you proclaim it when you proclaim it. You know what? Well, you know, I spent some time in the Senate, so I get to read these bills with a fine-tooth comb. And you know what jumped out at me was one line that said, the bill will be proclaimed when the president sees it fit.
Yes.
So it's not like, it's not, when it happens, it happens.
Yes.
Right? But that the important part was the bill went through the correct chains. It was debated on, it was consulted. People said it was a good bill. Everybody said it was a good bill, and everybody voted for the bill unanimously. So, in your debate, and I mean, people, I think Keith Rowley's a good debater. So when he was doing his debate, he didn't know Ish and Steve was going to get free. He couldn't say in his debate, well, listen, I don't want this bill because certain UNC financiers will get free, so I voted against the bill. Why he didn't do that? Why he support the bill in Parliament, debate the bill, have his colleagues talk about it's really their bill, and now you jump up in the air when you realize because we literally wanted so badly to paint Kamla in a certain light that we traded the lives of these young men and women who stood to benefit from Section 34. And how many years later, we've not been able to fix that problem. We still have men and women sitting down there waiting on their day in court because we can't get it together. And that is where that propaganda needs to stop. That's where, as citizens, we have to dig deeper and we have to really take away blinders. Take away the Eric Williams blinders. You know, you're holding on because, well, you don't like Rowley. You know what people I know don't like Rowley, but because of Eric Williams, they're voting for PNM. Eric Williams dead and gone. Rowley is the person now. And he is not it. You know, Rowley like to say, choose your man wisely. Well, if ever there was a time for us to choose our man wisely, it's now. Because we did not choose Rowley properly at all. We allowed propaganda to come before facts. So I'm going to go back to Miss Trinidad and Tobago. She said no lies. Because whether we like it or not, access to free education does not mean, and this again is what I was talking to you about Corky when UNC and PNM, two different things. You build a school and say education free. It's not free education. Because we have a textbook committee that needs to be reevaluated. I do not understand for the life of me the cost of textbooks. Right? The cost of uniforms and textbooks alone makes free education inaccessible to many. She was speaking at a time during the COVID pandemic, and first of all, this is where context is important. She was asked to speak on a specific issue. So she cannot speak about Carnival when she was asked to speak about her initiative. And her initiative addressed poverty in her area. That is what she did. She wanted to say, well, I don't really want to paint my country in a bad light, so let me talk about Carnival now. She answered the question. That was the question that was asked. But again, we like to come down on people and put our rage in the fake places, in the wrong places. Because why? Because why? Because we don't want to watch who's supposed to be our own. Who's supposed to become, he's from the father of the nation. He is we own Balize. We read till we dead. I listen, in the same protest where they take ask people, we have real thing to talk about. One person say, After she got tear gas and after she this and she vexed with, she talking about how she had so many adverse reactions and she had to reach out to the vaccine companies in the States herself and all kind of thing. And you know she say, I still read till I dead, eh? Guys, PNM, that is idolatry. That is idolatry. If ever there was idolatry. You have pledged an unholy allegiance to PNM. When you could come and say you don't like what they're doing, but you go vote for them. That is why they can do what they want, and that is why I said, Corky, that we, nobody else to blame but us. How many of us goes onto Keith Rowley's Facebook page and you write, Rowley must go? Did y'all go onto the Attorney General's Facebook page when I asked y'all last week? We must get creative. Yes. Because PNM soldiers, you know, Farley Augustine said in his victory speech, he thanked the soldiers, he thanked the social media soldiers. He said, because all there was everywhere, and y'all wanted the victory more than us. We need our UNC soldiers to get onto their Facebook page and demand they go. Yes. In bold caps lock every day until Rowley call election, go onto his Facebook page and say, Rowley must go. Yes. First thing in the morning, type on your Facebook news feed, Rowley must go. That is how you protest. You can't say, well, COVID, so we can't come out. You must get creative. Rowley must go. Go onto their Facebook page every morning. We must flood them. Oh gosh, we have a call. I'm gonna take the call. We have a call. We have a call. I know I ain't give that all a chance. Oh gosh, let me hush and take a call.
218-7762.
You took the call?
Yes.
Hello.
Yes.
Hello.
Good night. This is Cascadia.
Hi, Cascadia. How are you?
All right. Fine. But listen to me, Miss Lady. I find this man go attack we again. If we go there peaceful, this man prepared to draw blood, you know.
Well, so here's the thing. So this is
here's
what happened today.
This
Pushback got permission.
Blood, you know.
Pushback got permission. The next pushback got permission. You'll see it on
You
the
listen to
news.
what I'm saying? This man throw tear gas and little children.
Yeah, boy. But that's right. UNC.
And the next time all the oppose you, the next draw blood. So we have to be more vibrant than that. Blood for blood.
No.
Too soft out here. Blood for blood.
No, I can't support that. I can't support blood for blood. Corky making me answer my own phone. Good night, you're live on U975.
Hello?
Good night.
Hi, good evening, Marsha.
Hello.
And to Mr. Corky and to everybody out there. Marsha, you touched on a lot of things this evening, but I want to touch on PNM 3, Section 34. The first Section 34 was Andre Montal, when they changed the Home Mortgage Bank Act of 2007, giving him sole control of the Home Mortgage Bank. And he went and he took out the $110 million in shares. When Manning got to find out, all he did was give him a slap on the wrist and tell him, put it back. He sold it back to Calder Hart for $120 million, making a profit for himself of $20 million, right? The second one was Karen Nunes Teixeira, when she signed the MOU, bailing not telling anybody that she had almost 11,000 shares in Clico and $11 million in the EPC or something, you know, the special amount,
yes.
Right? She had that amount. She didn't tell anybody. When they get a fine on that, when Kamla was telling them, but she went Christmas, New Year's or whatever, she dusted, she called us and she to take out her money. She tell everybody else to join the line. When she was asked about it, she said those were her husband's shares. But it was passed to her when he died. And the third Section 34 was Malcolm Jones, when they threw out that case as soon as Rowley and them came in, right? And they've had him $3 million when they throw out the case. So when they want to talk about Kamla and Section 34, they had 3. And Keith Rowley and them was all part of it.
And now they have paragraph 4. And now they have paragraph 4 with the Commissioner of Police.
Right. And next thing, when you raise an issue where Mrs. Persad-Bissessar would tell them to go and clear their name and come back. Keith Rowley never did that.
Nope.
When the Mark bus with Camille Robinson Ray Chief and the bank, with the bank and the money, right? The petty cash that she had in her handbag. His take on it was, if I buy underwear for my wife, the bank going to tell everybody. No, he couldn't say a nice string of pearls. He couldn't say a diamond earring.
How he gonna do that? That would be too classy for him.
No, he had to say underwear. He had to buy. And that is how he used to defend the wrongdoings of the members of his cabinet. When this next one, Roman Shamfer, when the Mark bus with her with the hundreds of thousands in phone bill, what he said, it was an accident developing out of ignorance. What you did nothing. The same thing you did with Rumpin Darrell in Tobago. He defends the wrongdoings of the cabinet. And when Kamla took a different stand, you want to say they really had something to hide. So it's different strokes for PNM folks. Have a good evening, Marsha.
Thank you very much. Listen, Miss Santa Cruz, she need her own show, you know. I feel I'm going to ask her to be my co-host. Is that the last call? 218-7762? Yes, because we up. Tonight is Rowley. Tonight is Rowley for real. Because it gets me mad when I have been exhausted, honestly, just watching what is going on. And where's the outrage? So when I saw the kind of outrage for Miss Trinidad and Tobago, again, you're exhausted because we have a prime minister who is yet to answer issues with regards to discounts given on townhouses. Everybody seems to have forgotten about that. We have rage because a young lady speaks the truth. And as I say, if you don't believe her, well, Avanel Hector all but said, I stand with. Because she was on TV this morning and she was addressing poverty. Oh, I see the calls. I see it coming again. Good night. You are live on U97 Marsha Walker on douglAR Radio.
Hi, good evening, Marsha.
Hello.
This is El Socorro. This is El Socorro here.
Hi, El Socorro. Watch out for me.
El Socorro, hello, good evening, Corky. Everything good with you on Arnold today?
What's that?
Is it
No,
Corky
it
or
is
Arnold
Corky.
today?
It is Corky
It's
today.
Corky. Everything Corky. Everything cool, right? I just want to be short and sweet. I would like the public, as today's Marsha, you know, the woman power, I would like to congratulate the female hockey team for defeating Peru 2-0 today in Central America. Thank you. Well done, ladies.
Oh, wow. Good job. I actually have a note. You know, I actually have a note for that. But not for the congratulations, but something else. Good job. Good job. That's
good job,
very good.
ladies. As for the fellas in Bolivia, not so much, but we press on. Thank you. Bye-bye.
We press on. That's okay. Good. Thank you very much for that. So, yes, we congratulate our ladies' team and our men's team because it's not easy. Trust me, it's not easy representing this country because they don't take sports seriously in this country. Where is the Minister of Sport? Right? Where is the Minister of Sport? What plan does she have for us? Okay? Because that's something else I wanted to talk about. And I was getting there. So I'm going to touch on it quick before we go back to Rowley. Because I didn't want to forget about Alan Warner and Rowley and Inez Gate, NGC scandal. Right?
Yes.
I don't want to forget about those things. Sheep and Goat Association.
Yes.
Because I have something to talk about with Sheep and Goat Association.
Okay.
But I want, just for a moment, and this is again where we talk about UNCP and them same difference. Let me explain it to you.
Yes.
Front page to back page today, all I saw was a government not serious about culture, not serious about tourism. First to begin, the Promoters Association are very correct when they say they need a decision on Carnival 2023 now, not 2022. You could not be serious I see the Minister of Tourism put out a media release and he talked about they started talks in October last year. How could you possibly think it's efficient to start talks for Carnival in October? And I hear people who like to say in the middle of a pandemic and the numbers are scary. I understand that you all say these things are not important. But you see how that young man just called to big up the girls who play in sports out there? Because it's not important to you. Don't mean it's not important. I remember sitting on the national squad and doing psychology, the psychologists talking to us and whatnot. For many people, and that was how I earned an income before. I had a sports academy.
Yes.
Now, with the pandemic, had Richard not been able to get one or two small jobs, I don't know how I would have lived had I been a single mother still depending on my sports academy.
Yes.
So when you say, well, it's not important for bike club, it is important.
Yes.
One, it's important for the mental health of our children, and we need to look. We can't decide that we're following the science when it's convenient to us. And there are ways that we could do this thing safely and creatively, which is why I keep talking to you all about protesting. I don't support blood for blood, and I don't support super spreaders. But we have seen the power of social media. We have seen it. Time and time again, we have seen the power of social media. So if we get fed up, and we go and we talk about it, and every day, Anna, you must remind people every day about their versions of Section 34. You must remind them every day about Malcolm Jones. And remind them about Alan Warner. We're still waiting on Jacob to tell us, is there an investigation that was launched by the then Commissioner of Police on Alan Warner? Did Gary Griffith launch an investigation on Alan Warner? We want to know. How difficult is that for you to come and say, yes, there is an ongoing investigation, and give us an update? The Prime Minister must come and say to us, why, on what grounds did you lose confidence on Gary Griffith? Did you lose confidence on Gary Griffith? If we remember, you all remember when Stuart Young's daughter was in handcuffs and the picture was there and Gary Griffith's hands was looking over Stuart Young's daughter. Is it a coincidence that the whole paragraph 4 on meritless and Commissioner of Police, is it a coincidence that that legislation was passed while Stuart Young was Attorney General, was acting as Attorney General while Farris was away? So that legislation that was passed, he put in a little something that then basically disqualifies Griffith now from acting as COP. Is that why? Is that why you all are against Gary Griffith? You must come and talk to us. Because, Rowley, you promised to break PNM mold. You said you cannot pass it off as old talk. You said you had the O'Halloran stain. And that Trinidad and Tobago is what PDP in Tobago do. And this is what we must do. We must make sure it is a stain. And the only way it could be a stain is if we use our... Listen, you see people like to talk about keyboard warriors. Martin Luther said, you want to change the world? Pick up your pen and write. When we are in the parliament and we are passing law, bet your bottom dollar that those things matter. Don't let people call you a keyboard warrior, because listen, it's keyboard warriors that is spin everything. It's PNM keyboard warriors is come and spin everything. So we must make sure that the truth prevails. We must step up and agitate. We have got to. I want you all to listen to me, But one by one, go across to the Attorney General and tell him, go clear your name and come back. Because I think there is enough scandal around the Attorney General for us to say, listen, go clear your name and come back. Our citizens we deserve a level of integrity from our politicians. Go clear your name and come back. You hand over your phone. You be the one to say, listen, I am so desperate to have my name cleared. I am prepared to hand over my phone. I am prepared to do whatever it takes to clear my name. And until such time, I will step down as Attorney General. Keith Rowley, you cannot come arrogantly. And again, I can't blame Rowley no more because we are allowing it. We are allowing Keith Christopher Rowley to come and say, well, I get discount. You cannot get such discounts as the Prime Minister.
Yes.
You can't. Not when people paving driveway. We have a call. Let me take the call. Because I ain't opening up the line. So let me take the call.
Yes.
Good night. You are live on U975 on douglAR Radio.
Yeah, good night. I want to speak to Marsha, please.
You are speaking to Marsha Walker. How may I help you?
Okay, Marsha. I wanted to tell. The lady said, how may I help you? I want to tell you that this PNM government is time only move around. Hello?
But I want to tell you all that we need your help. We are here. We fighting, but we need y'all to fight. We need y'all to go on social media. We need y'all to pick up placards, put it on your door, put it on your window, put it on your car, put it on your office, put it wherever you have to put it on. Put Rowley must go.
Yeah, well, Marsha, I tell you, like, fight in full support to move that bitch, because black.
Oh my. Language on air.
And you don't have no qualities to be a prime minister neither.
So I want to see you. I want to see you put a sign up on your house, put a sign on your car, write it on a black t-shirt, take some white paint and write it, Rowley must go. This is where we must agitate. We must wake up in the morning and we must not stop until he goes. We must agitate.
In a mess, and the whole country in a mess. Everything is a racket. There's a racket center all over you could get from them. He really tell the people when he went the TV election, he say it was a rapid rail billing, but didn't realize it was a rapid rail. A racket rail.
A racket rail for real.
Yes, that's
it. But
I want you to get inside it, and I want you, Wida, Jolene John, or one of them strong. I want to take the lead of the party.
No. Kamla doing a good job. We fully support her. We fully support her. Our time has not yet come. Our time has not yet come. She's molding us. Don't worry.
Yeah, but I want to see you right up in that. I want to see you get him out. That's what I want. A bucket.
Right.
All the time.
We must fight. Keep the fight up.
So take care. Have a good night.
You too. Good night. Yes. Listen, we all want Rowley gone. We want Rowley gone. And, we have another call. Best don't take off my headphones. Good night. You are live with Marsha Walker on douglAR Radio and U975.
Good night, Mrs. Walker. Good night. I don't know if I'm addressing you right.
Yes, you are, Mrs. Walker.
Mrs. Walker.
Mrs.
Good
Walker.
Night,
good night.
What I would like for you to enlighten me on, Mrs. Walker, it is the policy for the use of tear gas. Please, Mrs. Walker, the policy that is used for...
Well, you know that the UNC lawyers have taken up a case. So they've served a pre-action protocol letter to the acting COP.
Right.
Yes, so we've started. So we have served a pre-action protocol letter. So he has some time to reply.
Right, because what I am listening on over the world and things, from what I'm hearing, that they banned tear gas in warfare.
They did. It's still legal to be used by the riot police, etc., but it's not something that you take lightly. So we've started in the courts. We've started the process.
Okay, thank you very much, Mrs. Walker.
Most welcome. Have a good night. Oh, we have another call. Good night. You are live on U975. Did I lose the call? I lost it. Okay. Yes. Okay. I'm going to put it... This headphone, I had to buy my own headphones earlier, so that It's a little heavy.
Yes.
And it's big, so it's fall down on my ears and all kind of thing. That's why I had to be taking it, putting it on and off.
Okay.
Yeah. But Corky,
Mm-hmm.
I can't say it enough.
Yes, say it again.
We want Rowley gone.
Rowley must go.
He must.
Right.
Right? I mean, unless he want to come and sit down and clear his name overnight, then he can maybe come back. I don't think he could clear his name. But we are allowing it. It has come to the point where we have no one else to blame but ourselves now. Only hear the kind of things Santa Cruz call. We have a call.
Yes.
Only hear those kinds of things.
Hello.
Good night, you're
to the
alive.
panel.
Hello.
Good night.
I would like only to check out if the money that is transferred from Trinidad to the States and from the States to Guyana. I understand it's right. Also, it's a Guyana that falls Bonham knees. We want back the money from Jamaica, the $50,000 to $55,000 US, right? And the money from the toilet factory and all what they're thieving. They said a thief, they try to thief the liars. Thank you.
Yes, we want our money back, but we could only do that if we agitate. We have to agitate. We have to. We have to find, listen, Anna does do a good job. Oh my gosh. She on every thread when people come. And that's something, you all know my Facebook cover picture says, in the end, we will not, we'll forget our enemies. The noise of our enemies. But you know who we won't forget is the silence of our friends. Because when we out here, and Corky, you spoke about it, we spoke about that early in the show, right? You pull the blinds and the real threat of serving publicly.
Yes.
Right? We need our friends, our alliance. We need them to back us. We
Right.
need the shout. We need the fight from the ground.
Need the support.
We need the support. We need our friends to come and speak. Good night, you alive?
Oh, we
Oh,
lost
I
this
lost
one.
it.
Check it out.
Yeah.
Right.
That's what we need, Corky.
Yes.
Right?
Okay.
We have come to a point where we can no longer be silent. And
Yes.
what we can't do either is depend on them, Corky, to do the right thing.
Yeah.
It is clear that we cannot depend on them to do the right thing.
Yes.
With Kamla Persad-Bissessar, we could have depended on her to say, go clear your name and come back. And as I said, when she did those things, when ministers were fired, it was not an admission of guilt, because nobody in behind bars. It was an upholding of the Westminster system to its highest level of integrity.
Yes.
That's what it was. We have got, is showdown you're playing? Like the Wild Wild West? Listen, well, it's really sometimes.
I think it, yes,
yeah,
the good, the
sometimes
bad,
we-
and the ugly.
Sometimes we're really living in the Wild Wild West.
Yeah.
But it has come a time when our citizens have got to fight.
Yes.
And social media is a powerful tool, it's what we have.
Yes.
We've got to become educated, or let's see like Santa Cruz, how Santa Cruz giving all the information. When
Yes.
Anna come here in the afternoon, giving all the information. And big up to Victor Roberts. I want to talk
Yes.
about Victor Roberts a little bit before we go on a break. I
Of
know we're
course.
going to go on a break.
Yes, we had to go on a break. Yeah.
But this is where, let me tell you something, what Victor is doing and what we do,
yes.
a lot of people don't understand that we set the stage. So then the lawyers now have thing, boy, them police sometimes fall for bait, That's why they can lock him up. They come, they say obstruction. So they make him get up off the floor. They come, they say loitering. First they say protesting. Protesting is not against the law. It is a constitutional right.
Right.
And we will continue to fight that.
Okay, so why did they throw the tear gas, and so what were the people doing that gave them the reason
top
to
cop say, the acting
Yes.
top cop say that they were throwing bottles.
bottles?
Apparently it was plastic bottles first to begin. Right? There's nothing so far. I mean, you could imagine police officer.
Yes.
First begin, they have a shield. Where are the videos? I mean, we would have seen videos where bottle and all kind of thing, and the
Yeah.
police need shield and thing and whatever, right?
Yes.
When tear gas, I mean, the kind of scenes that we theoretically should have seen
Yes.
is hundreds of people coming together
Yes.
and going at citizens.
Yeah.
You weren't seeing that.
It wasn't called for.
You wasn't seeing that,
Yes.
right? But again, we encourage it because we allow it.
Yes.
Good night, you're alive.
Good night, Cascadia.
Hello, Cascadia.
Yes. This wrong Savannah. How could it not be a police who infiltrate the same march and throw a battle to attract? Now revolutionary strategies again, you know. This is what I tell all you. Be out there, you know. I will infiltrate their rank, your march, and toss something to affect the police just for them to react. What they do, that's what they do. Nobody can tell me with the manner how they throw that tear gas, it wasn't one of their own went in the crowd to do that, to attract. Because they know what they went for. You hear what Shawels do on the radio? Call Belmont Station and St. James Station and tell them when all you come in, don't come with 2 jeep, you know. Come with about 5 jeep. And you hear what one of the police from Belmont Station and these 2 stations make their statement, you know. Didn't know the yes, when we come into beating their ass. Yeah? That is real, you know, that on tape, you know. That on tape, you know. Aisha Wells do that and didn't, the poor policeman didn't know that she had them on the air making that statement, you know. So you see the slip. What you going to mass? That's what we come to do.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Well, listen, I keep saying, I don't know that we reach the stage of violence. We haven't tried the other things yet.
Yes.
Good night, you're live on U975.
Good night, Marcia. Good night, Koki, everybody.
night.
What the hell all they doing? Let's all resign, try back on a theory struggling to hold on and try telling to me, leave my people alone. He try up and he's almost gone, wasting people time. Thank you.
All right.
Good, thank you. All right.
People are angry.
They are. But we need to see, and here's the thing, right, Coke, and this is what, coming back to it. Look at how much noise people made on social media over Miss Trinidad and Tobago.
Yes.
Social media is powerful, and we need to use it. We need to use it. We must use social media to agitate. We must go onto Keith Rowley's Facebook page and every day put Rowley must go. Every day we must write to the president. Every day we must write to the prime minister. We must agitate. We must make it difficult for them to do their job, you know, because they ain't doing it. They're not doing it. So every day they must come first thing in the morning when they open their email. Keith Christopher Rowley must open his email and have 100 subjects saying, Rowley must go.
Yes.
Every morning he must open that email and see 1,000 emails with the subject, Rowley must go. We must get creative in our protesting.
Yes.
Hello, you are live.
Good night again.
Good night.
We have a president somewhere in the Caribbean. All she voted must be, it's now innocent people to hang and to jail. Thank you.
Yeah. Yes. We're going to go on a break.
Yes.
But I wanted to talk about Victor Roberts. When we come back, we'll talk
When we
about
come
Victor.
back, yes.
Well, yes, because I know we have to go on a break.
7:47. We'll be right back.
Oh my, hear that voice, Cokie.
Come to the Waves Restaurant and Bar, Grafton Beach, Black Rock, Tobago. Great ambience, fantastic prices, all COVID protocols observed. Full premium bar available. Call Waves at 731-4646 to make your reservation. Come dine with the Waves Restaurant and Bar, Grafton Beach, Black Rock, Tobago. You must be vaccinated to dine in.
Le Grand Coulon Spa Resort at Stonehaven Bay, Blackrock. Bed and breakfast rates available. To book, call 283-2597 or 463-2946. Le Grand Coulon Spa Resort at Stonehaven Bay, Blackrock. Island Hobbies, Ryson Road, Port of Spain, has the largest variety of toys in the Caribbean and South America. No one can beat our prices. If you see it cheaper anywhere else, prove it and we will beat it. Island Hobbies, Ryson Road, Port of Spain.
Me
watch people, man.
Are you ready for On the Road This Carnival 2022 with U975 and MCTV? U975 FM Hot Like Pepper Radio and MCTV present On the Road 2022. This carnival as we take to various bars every Friday until Carnival. Come and meet our on-air DJs, presenters, and enjoy live soca and chutney performances. Keep listening to U975 and viewing MCTV for our weekly listing of the bars in your area. All COVID protocols are observed and adhered to. On the Road 2022 with U975 and MCTV coming to a bar near you.
I don't watch people, man.
Fresh Street Market, your neighborhood supermarket.
Number 3 Andrew Lane, corner Churchill Roosevelt Highway and Andrew Lane, Derby, Mousica.
Opening hours.
Saturday 7:30 a.m. to 7:30 p.m.
Sundays 8 a.m. to 6:30 p.m. When you think about fresh produce and good quality food, come to Fresh Street Market, your neighborhood supermarket.
Number 3 Andrew Lane, corner Churchill Roosevelt Highway and Andrew Lane, Derby, Mousica.
The local Palooza show and countdown.
Now showing on MCTV.
Hosted by TNT's Rock Ambassador. Bees High Five, the metal merchant. See and hear all your favorite local rock bands. Keep it rock alive. Rhythms Communications Network. Local Palooza show and countdown on MCTV. The local Palooza show and countdown.
Now showing on MCTV. douglAR Radio is now on U97.5 FM Hot Like Pepper Multicultural Radio, Monday to Friday, 6:15 p.m. to 9 p.m. with Anil Roberts, bringing you the facts on politics and up-to-date information. Also taking your calls on 218-7762. douglAR Radio on U97.5 FM Hot Like Pepper Multicultural Radio, 6:15 p.m. to 9 p.m. Monday to Friday.
Get ready for the revolution. Come on, what you say now?
Sponsored by Royal Castle.
My parents' generation grew up with Royal Castle. From the first restaurant in 1968, when that distinctive, tempting aroma hit the air, they just couldn't resist. And like never before, fried chicken with a special blend of local seasonings and a one-of-a-kind flavor down to the bone. Today, Royal Castle still have that same delicious taste, and I love it too. The kids can't resist it either. Plus, they have more to enjoy. For me, the castle is more than just nice food. It's we own, part of me and you, and is the real flavor of TNT.
Fire Friday!
Friday, man, shop the place. Friday, in front of the face. Friday, red, white, and black. Friday, and back.
Friday, 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 Friday.
Fire Friday!
Thank God it is
Marsha Walker. Join me on U975, Hot Like Pepper, and douglAR Radio every Friday for Fire Friday. Every Friday when we, the UNC women, bring the heat. Fire Friday.
Friday, man, shop the place.
I see in here. Okay, live, right?
Yes.
You know, I don't put on my headphones, so I don't know. I just want to make sure people know I'm going to read it. You know, douglAR Radio. They have their own little magazine and thing now, you know.
What?
Yeah, boy. The douglAR ain't easy, you know.
That's nice.
They ain't easy. See, they have to balance out media. Gosh, we have a call.
Yes.
You take
You
a
want
call?
to take a call?
All right,
Yes.
I'll take a call.
Hello. Welcome.
Hello.
Hello.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night. Are you sharing U95.7 or something, sir?
Yes, it is.
Okay, ma'am. I'm listening to our regular listener.
Thank you.
You are talking about Eve and Adam. But here the point I am putting through, you could contradict me or people could contradict me. They was given their choice. Eve was given a choice. It's either to eat or not to eat. Just as the vaccination is given a choice. We have our own choice. Right? I don't know if I'm talking wrong or right. We have our own choice. Right? That is from creation. It's either we do good or either we worship Satan or we worship our Lord Jesus Christ.
But it's not like that. They're telling you if you don't take it, you can't work.
Okay, thank you, ma'am.
All right. So
Thank
what
you.
choice is there?
Well, there isn't any choice, and that's why we use the word mandatory, right? Because Corky, again, you're just playing foolish. Or vaccine not mandatory. It's mandatory anytime you have to choose to get a job or to have a job to get paid. It's mandatory, right? So I just want to remind y'all that the douglAR Politics newsletter is out. You can register on WhatsApp 868-748-5969. In the WhatsApp message, you'll send your name and email address to become a member, and then you get your copy of the douglAR report.
Okay.
Right? Because we're the balance of the media.
So you register on WhatsApp. 868-748. Is it correct? 5969.
Yes, very good.
You send your name and your email to become a member, and you get a copy
Yes.
of douglAR report.
We're gonna put Santa Cruz to write for douglAR report.
Right.
I feel Santa Cruz could come and write for douglAR report.
Okay.
I want to ask, listen, maybe I could take a little day off on a Friday, and I'll go on a little date or something, and we're gonna go on a little date or something, and I'm gonna let Santa Cruz come and take over for a show or something.
Okay, so we're inviting Miss Santa Cruz.
Yeah, man. I say people like they like it. People like the idea. Either that or a little co-host or something. Corky, think you can handle the two of us?
Of course. You will talk, and then we'll share the mic.
Corky, I want to talk about something.
Yeah.
Because hunger is the number one weapon of a dictator,
Are
of
you
a
hungry?
tyrant. Well, of
Oh.
course, Corky, I'm trying to talk about a topic.
Okay,
but
right.
I
We've got
know
another
we
call.
open the phone lines.
218-7762. Hello?
No, good night.
Hello, good night,
Good
Miss
night.
Walker and Mr. Corky.
Hello.
Yes.
I would like to share a little view and ask if this makes sense in my life. The carnival will be a concert like,
Well,
right?
I don't know what it will be because it wasn't planned
No,
well.
that what Rowley's saying, right?
Some nonsense, yes.
Yeah, it will be concert like. Is that not mass gathering still?
It would be mostly, I think, people who vaccinate and have the card, they could get to go in there, and who you always stay outside there. And they have to
Right.
try something
But-
else.
But it's a booster shot what analysts talk about, and everybody they say no, we gotta get a booster shot to be fully vaxxed.
Well, you see, as usual, we don't really know the clear guidelines because nothing has happened. Everything has happened with this government by vax.
Right.
Not by
So, yeah, that's what I'm saying here.
vax. Yeah,
Right?
so we
What
don't
I get
even
to
know.
that now, what I get to that is how they twist everything.
Yeah.
Right? But when other groups have prayer, police community, I guess, the Islamic community does have a prayer and fellowship with all the masjid coming in a big savannah open area and fellowshipping for the day. And you hope they go down there when that time comes and they go take gas on them too.
Well, listen.
But
when people who try to actually take over the country in 1990, you remember their funeral?
Yeah.
No tear
Right.
gas.
So they
No,
didn't see that
nothing.
on no way. They didn't know about that because Jacob and them didn't get instruction, right? But the nice thing about it, the young lady, the lambasting so much around the place. This is what I want to get to now. If people still using outhouse in Lavantil, which because I heard a program on this same show, right?
Exactly.
And since 1952, TNM, the 7 TNM. But just over the hill, where Stuart Young living in Cascade, what they're using, right?
Yeah.
But the people, when we had to beg them to come out to save their own life, right? And all the years with Rowley and them, everybody know what's going on. And poverty is so high in this country.
Yeah.
And the people who they talk about the radio announcer, she children in America seeking education, while others over here in a failed education system. How about I say, Ms. Walker?
Same to you, caller. Thank you. Corky.
Yes.
Corky, giving them the number. You open up the phone lines.
218-7762.
But Corky, don't let 9 o'clock reach and I ain't talk about two things,
Oh my gosh, look at the time already. It's almost 8.
Yes, Corky.
2 minutes.
So I'm going to try to talk in between the calls.
Yes.
Because two things. We have to make sure and give Victor Roberts some kudos. It ain't easy to stand up in that hot sun. The man sit down on the steps. They come and they tell him, oh, he protesting, he had to move. He say, he not protesting. Although it matters not to me whether you're protesting or not. There's no law that says you cannot protest. There is no law. Move this mic, yeah, because I don't want to shout in the people's ears. And I want to lean forward a little bit. I'm getting tired.
Relax.
There is no law, Corky, that says you cannot protest. In fact, our constitution allows us the right to protest.
Right.
The Summary Offences Act that these people like to quote says that you need permission to march. Clearly, Victor Roberts was not marching.
Okay.
They also say that you need not permission, but you need to inform the Commissioner of Police, in this case the Acting Commissioner of Police, if you intend to have a public meeting. And a public meeting is gathering, etc. Now, we already have the public health guidelines that don't allow gathering. And Victor Roberts sitting down on the steps, fasting for democracy, could never be a public meeting. So, how could you come and tell the man he protesting and he not allowed? Is it that you do not know your law? Is it that we like paying lawyers in this country? Because it's not that UNC trying to waste taxpayers' money, you know, but we're going to defend. So we're going to go to court and defend. So I don't know if it's a situation where Faris Al-Rawi have no problem wasting taxpayers' money, because at the end of the day, his lawyers going to get money. I don't know if that's what the case is. Because when you do stuff like that, your police officer is going to end up before the courts. You're going to end up before the courts. Because there is no law against protesting.
No.
So Victor stood up. That's why when they come and tell me about protesting, I'm not moving. I'm not moving.
Right.
Because the day you arrest me, well, check me in court and I'm going to become a millionaire.
Oh.
But that's why they don't arrest. They try to scare us because they are dictators and they're tyrants and they use fear tactics.
Yes.
But we will not be afraid.
Yes.
So they come and they say, well, you're loitering now. Because first he's protesting, so you're not protesting. So they make him come off the obstruction now, so he can't sit down. You see how big the steps are? You see how big the steps are? What? Who is he obstructing by sitting on the steps? Who? So they tell him, he has to stand up. Well, Victor is a champion. If you think Victor have problem standing up in hot sun, he stand up in the hot sun. 6 to 6, he ain't drink, he stand up. Because that is the fight that we are prepared to fight. That's the fight. And let me tell you something, Victor ain't fighting for himself. Yeah. Victor fighting for your children. So we must join in the fight. And if social media is what you have, social media is what you must use.
Yes.
Pick up your keyboard and go onto the Prime Minister's page. And every day tell him Rowley must go. Every day send an email to the Acting Commissioner of Police, Jacob, and ask him what is the outcome, what is the update with Alan Warner. We want to know. Ask him what is the update with AV Oil and Gas. Send your emails by the thousands. Send your emails by the thousands. Listen, I have a saying. This is what I live by. You must become so good they cannot ignore you. You do not become bitter, you become better. We must become so good at agitating for Rowley to go that he will no longer be able to ignore us. You cannot waste millions of dollars on NGC scandal and we forget about it. You cannot come and boast that you is a best salesman and you know how to negotiate discount and we must forget about it. The Prime Minister must respond. He must go. And we must ensure he goes. Every day send an email. Rowley had to go.
Yes.
Every day. Cocky, you want me to go on a break again?
Oh.
Cocky, we just went on a break.
Okay.
Cocky, like you want me to go on a break again, boy.
We got a good stop at the hour and then we come right.
Okay, alright. We have to stop at the hour, y'all.
Time has come. New 97.5. Make it your choice. Something for everyone. 97.5 FM. Music for you. It's all about you.
97.5 FM, Hot Like Pepper, Multicultural Radio.
Power to the listeners.
And we are back.
Yes.
Yes, Cocky, may I blind? Cocky say you want to hear me bash Rowley some more. But I'm not bashing Rowley tonight.
Right.
I am saying that our citizens have a responsibility. We have a role. And just like Victor Roberts stood up out there and stood.
Yes.
When the police came and they say to him now, because they're looking at, boy, they're looking for all kind of law they could use. They can't use protesting. They can't use this. They can't use that. So they come now and they say loitering. Well, Victor tell them, you do what you have to do and I will do what I have to do. But the police officers ain't stupid. Left, right and center. Listen, son, the media have their part to play, you know.
Yes.
When UNC lawyers fighting left, right and center, when they throw in everything but the kitchen sink at Faris and his lawyers and winning in court for the people, the media headlines don't say UNC lawyers win, you know. You have to read a little bit lower down and then you have to know the names. Because unless you know the names, you will not necessarily understand that it's UNC lawyers fighting these causes.
Okay.
Right? So when you see in the newspaper that a family has written a pre-action protocol letter to the acting top cop,
yes,
you know, the media will say that. The media ain't going to say UNC lawyers serve the letter. They ain't going to do that. Because they have to make sure that UNC don't look good.
Right.
They have their job to do. Sorry, not pay. They know who pays their bills. So we must do our part. We must know our rights and we must fight for them. We must put placard after placard on our gates, on our cars. We must get some white paint, get a black t-shirt, and when you're doing your errands on a Saturday, walk around with a t-shirt that says Rowley must go. But that may be dangerous. I understand that certain things may be dangerous. But you see, sending an email could never be dangerous. Nobody know. Nobody know. Right?
Yeah.
So I don't want you to, I want no bottle pelt at your house and no big stone pelt at your head for walking around with a t-shirt that says Rowley must go. But certainly, I want you guys to understand the power of social media. Social media has made mayors get fired.
Yes.
If we every day commit to putting on Rowley's Facebook page, Rowley must go. Every day. When he put his comments, you see every day in our Ministry of Health, when they go live on Facebook, anytime he come on our TV, he come live on Facebook and then our UNC soldiers must go and say Rowley must go. We need to be nasty, you know. You need to do nothing. Don't respond and don't even respond to them.
Yes.
I want you to put Malcolm Jones stain. Put Alan Warner stain. Answer about AV Knowles. AV Oil and Gas. Not AV Knowles, sorry. Those are legit company. Right? We must remind them. We must ask Rohan Sinanan what is his relationship with Jack Warner and Ishgal Bransing. Those are the things we must constantly remind them of. We must remind them of Inez Gate. And as I want to talk about another something, and that's what I was going with in terms of that way of hunger and being distracted, because right now we focused on this mandatory vaccination issue.
Yes.
So everybody is concerned about what is their future with their job, what's their future with their health. Unfortunately, right now, we focus on what's the future with Carnival, because their inefficiency leaves us so worried and so uncertain that we are missing the plays inside Parliament. So the procurement legislation that allows tiffin to be legal in the Parliament, in the Senate on Tuesday. We all know Damian Lyder. He came on douglAR Radio a few times.
Yes.
He debated a bill. Well, boy, if ever there was a derailment of a bill, was on Tuesday. Because quick, PNM wrap it up. Because they realize, well, UNC come and say, no, we ain't supporting that bill. And then the independent Senator Vera come.
Yes.
And he say he can't support the bill. So quick. You see them wrap up and move on to another bill. But don't feel we ain't looking out. Because they know they're going to come and try and change some two-line and bring it and pass it in the night when nobody looking. They want to... So I'm going to tell you about this bill.
Yeah.
I'm going to tell you how PNM sneaky. It's a livestock farmers bill, right?
Yeah.
So most people, whatever. You know, human nature, if it don't bother you directly, you tend not to follow it. Except when chicken price raise.
Oh my gosh.
You will realize you should have followed this. Because what this bill seeks to do is to move the livestock farmers board. Corky, do you remember when the Prime Minister came and boasted about exporting sheep and goat?
Yes, something like of the sort, yes.
And he boasts that, you know, he's a businessman. He's a director at Alma Farms. And that is what anybody could see. You can go to the Integrity Commission, which is located on Tower D, where Parliament used to be there by Hyatt around there.
Yeah.
You send them an email, you book an appointment within the same week. Easy. I mean, really good service. And you say, I'd like to go and view Form B. You want to go and view the registrar. They'll ask who you want to view and what year. You say, I want to view Keith Rowley. And you want to view 2019 and 2020. When you view 2019, it's there in bad handwriting and all. He couldn't find somebody to type it up for him. So you write it. Bad handwriting, crapple-foot handwriting. You will see that he's a director of Alma Farms.
Okay.
Then you're supposed to write if you are a member of any boards and associations and stuff like that, right?
Yes.
So for instance, if you viewed the Form B of the husband of the Speaker of the House, he actually has, because he has to declare that he's a member of the PNM, which is interesting, that the Speaker of the House husband is a PNM. But we ain't going there. I ain't going to talk about what his qualifications are to be on petroleum company board, but either way, we're not going there tonight. But it's interesting to know that the Prime Minister is on the association of the Sheep Farmers Association. He is a member of the Sheep Farmers Association.
Oh.
I find, my personal opinion is that some of those kind of things are a little bit iffy. You ought not to be on no kind of association or anything like that. But either way, I find it's a little too coincidental that your business partner with sheep and farm and goat and all this kind of livestock business is Alan Warner. Now you passing a bill in Senate to repeal the board. I'm concerned. I do not know if you want to remove the board, because a board is oversight, right? A board allows oversight. So I'm wondering, is that why the PNM wants to move the board? What is behind shutting down of this board? Right? Who stands to benefit from the shutting down of this board? And I just find it's a little too coincidental that the Prime Minister happens to be in the livestock business.
Right.
So, these are the things that citizens must pay attention to. Because it appears as though it's a inconsequential bill. You know, it ain't do nothing. The media don't pick it up. You know, it's certainly not like the budget. It's not a big bill. But see these small bills? This is where we need to really pay attention. This is where we must remember certain things. So we must ask ourselves, who stands to benefit from the privatization of these farms? Are people gonna get certain equipment at fire sale prices? What will that mean for the small farmer? And then, of course, what will that mean for us, the consumer? We saw, rock hard cement. They left the shores, and right away, TCL increased their prices. When we do not create an environment of competition, we will suffer. Which, of course, goes back to the way that we vote as well. You know, I tell people, I remember walking again during my election campaign, and I say to them, if I don't perform, vote me out. But you have to be fair, because, you know, there's one due to come. Keith Rowley had 30 years to mash up Diego Martin, but they go want me to come and fix everything he fixed in 30 days. So we have to be fair as well. Because people would say, but Kamla had all this time, and they didn't fix this, and they didn't fix that. I mean, you asking Kamla to fix in 5 years what PNM mash up in 60? So we have to be fair as well.
Yes.
Because we will get there. We will most certainly get there, but we need the time. We need to build. So for instance, with Carnival, we go back down to that. You can't come in October 2020 to plan for Carnival 2021, especially when you're not planning a carnival that is the norm. Especially when the Attorney General said we will have the mother of all carnivals. How are we going to trust these people, Corky?
What about while people are dying?
Well, as I said to you, my personal opinion is that these things are important. So we cannot shut the whole country down because of COVID. And there are people that earn money through that industry. So we owe it to them to find a creative way to allow business to go on. And I've said that from the start. We have to find a way to balance life and livelihood. You're looking at the Caroni Bird Sanctuary. The tour operators have not been working for the last 2 years. And now you come with dotishness about they must operate from 5 to 12, 5 to 2. Everybody knows that they operate in the evening time when the sun is going down. But I understand that on the surface it may appear as though, well, Caroni Bird Tour ain't important. But it may not be important to you and I because that's not our thing. But that's what I was talking to earlier about in terms of if I coach for a living, you are putting me on the breadline. If my industry, if how I make a living is entertainment, you are putting me on the breadline. There must be, we are a creative people, Corky. And I refuse to believe that Trinbagonians do not have what it takes to make a balance. We watch Olympic shows and all kind of shows and we will boast and we will talk about this. Our people build up them stage. And we watch it with pride on television. We create some of the most beautiful things on a worldwide stage. Are you telling me that we can't find a way to hold a Marshall Monday and charge through like pay-per-view viewing? People watch boxing matches and whatnot. The Olympics happened. They found a way to have the Olympics in a safe manner. The world watched on. advertisers were able to advertise and make money, the world watched on. Miss Trinidad and Tobago is going on. Mr. Trinidad and Tobago is going on. Hockey is going on across the world. Things are going on. We have to find a way for it to happen. The same way as get up in the morning and watch Manchester United versus whoever. The same way as watch Barcelona versus whoever. We can put on a quality production and we can sell it to the world through pay-per-view, through advertising, through whatever. But what cannot happen is you expect to come up with such a quality product if you only now starting to have conversation in October and come January you can't even make a firm decision. Our people can do this. But there has to be a political will. And what I hope out of this pandemic is that each and every one of us will see how much politics involves everybody. Because I don't think that any FET promoter would have ever seen the day where politicians affect whether they could throw FET or not. I don't think any young person who's jump up in beads on a Monday and Tuesday ever noticed how much politicians affect them and their entertainment. This pandemic ought to teach us that politics affects everybody and it is your business. Election have consequences. Pick who represents you well. As Keith Rowley would say, choose your man wisely. But it's not when you're choosing your man in a bedroom. Choose the way you vote wisely. Choose the man who will lead the country wisely. And sometimes just put a woman, if you ask me. We must begin to wake up as a people, become politically educated as a people, and say goodbye to PNM because they have not served our loyalty. They have abused our loyalty. And it is time for us to say enough is enough. The education system that you say free is a waste of time. All it does is keep us in the plantation. Is our education system teaching us financial intelligence? Is our education system really creating people who are powerhouses, who could be entrepreneurs, who could balance books and profit and loss statements? Is our education system harnessing those who don't only like math and English, but those who like the arts, those who like sports? Are we creating dreamers who believe things like Instagram influencers, those things make money? Or do we pass that off as rubbish dream, become an accountant? And you can get an accountant for $1 out of India now. So have they used these free things to really keep us in chains? Yes. And these are the hard truths that we must face. Mm-hmm. And don't shoot the messenger when they make us look bad. Because we were vexed with, you remember when Bourdain do the piece on us, the travel piece? Yes. We were vexed with him. We always vex with somebody. We were vexed with Nicki Minaj. We always vex with somebody for making us look bad. We have to take stock of who is really the one making us look bad. And that's why I say, I can't blame PNM too much for making us look bad. I can't blame PNM for taking advantage of we. They're doing what they're doing. Their troops doing what they're paid to do. We can only blame ourselves for allowing it. And for not standing up, like how Victor stand up for 3 days in the hot sun without food and water. We must step up. We must ensure that PNM go down in history books as that history. Just that. History. They've had their time and they must be gone. when people like to talk about a third party, no, we do not have room for a third party. But what we do have room for is a new second party. And honestly, I like to have a variety inside Parliament. I think it will do well. I don't think it'll be good to just have 30 UNC members. In this case, it'll be 40. I think in Barbados. Congratulations to Mia Motley. She had more guts than PNM. That's how you make sure. That's how you know. You see how she has a little infighting and thing?
Yes.
She said, right, me ain't going through this, you know. The bickering must stop. So Rowley, we know you have something going on because Shorty throwing Faris under the bus. Everybody throwing Faris and Paula under the bus. We know something going on. Ember throw Faris under the bus. And clearly the country is split. Even Canada, their prime minister called an election as well beforehand, because he went for more. He wanted an increase. Keith Rowley don't have no kind of majority government. He win by a few votes. What you should do is play man. All the arrogance you have on a Saturday, play man and call elections. Do like Mia. We can't go through a pandemic with silly season. So call election and let me get silly season out of the way. Get a fresh mandate. Come on, win a landslide victory and hush we up now. Win a landslide victory and hush we up. I find that's what you should do.
Yes.
But we must agitate for it. We must agitate for it. We must say, Rowley, enough is enough. And until such time, he will continue to be arrogant because he is getting away with it. He is getting away with it. He passes whatever law he needs to pass. The man called the shot on Gary Griffith, and Gary Griffith gone.
Wow. Gone with the wind.
He say, I've lost confidence in Gary Griffith. He could come and stand up and tell people he lose confidence in Gary Griffith. Send Faris Arawi away. Sure, Chung act as Attorney General. Change the law. Pass some whatever law, whatever legal notice he pass, to disqualify Gary Griffith from being a contender to act as Commissioner of Police. And just so, Gary Griffith is no longer Commissioner of Police. And they have more questions than answers. We want to know, Stuart Young, did it have something to do with, when Rowley say, who gonna pass it for me? Did Stuart Young stand up and say, I remember that time when Griffith had his hand on his hip, because in the picture Griffith was looking over Stuart's daughter. So, did it have something to do with that? Is that why Stuart Young was willing to act as Attorney General and change the legal notice? Did Keith Christopher Rowley have a problem with Gary Griffith continuing the investigation into AV Oil and Gas? Did Gary Griffith really launch an investigation into Alan Warner? Is that what was going on? Is that why Keith Christopher Rowley lost confidence in Gary Griffith? Is that why they shifted the goalposts to ensure that Gary Griffith could not become acting top cop? These are the things that we must not forget. These are the things that we must not allow Trinidad and Tobago to forget. And when Miss Trinidad and Tobago comes and tells us the harsh truth, we must stand up for her, because we must get in the culture of standing up for those who speak the truth. We must get in the culture. You see this song, I know everybody like it, eh?
Which one?
Drink your water and mind your business.
Yeah.
To me, it's the same kind of insult as we jamming still.
Okay.
These things should never be our anthem. We've got to say enough is enough with our culture as well. Singapore became independent, Corky, the same time as Trinidad and Tobago. The Prime Minister at the time, the Singapore Prime Minister, Lee Kuan Yew, he said, don't insult his people by comparing and classing Trinidadians to him and to his people. Have we allowed him to be right? Because Singapore, with no resource, well, they have a port, but we are island. That should say what we have. Yes. We have a people, a vibrant people. We have given so much to this world. We have produced Dwight York, Brian Lara, Wendy Fitzwilliam, V.S. Naipaul, Marshall Montano, Kess, David Rudder, Sparrow. Yes. We've produced the steel pan and the roti. Because, let's get it straight. When I put that Trini flavor on doubles and roti and things, that is not the same as what you will get in India. We have something in our culture. What we touch has become gold. Yes. But we've allowed corruption, nepotism, and the very same carnival mentality to rob us of what should have been. And where we ought to be as a people, we are not. And those are the harsh realities that we must face. So the anger should not be directed at Miss Trinidad and Tobago. Because in 2022, people should not be using an outhouse. I'm sorry, they shouldn't. When things like internet and fast-speed internet is available to everybody across the world, we shouldn't still be struggling for water in our taps. We shouldn't still be wondering if we will have electricity today. We shouldn't be crossing dilapidated bridge to get to our house. Yeah. Our children shouldn't have an issue with getting online for school in the middle of a pandemic. We shouldn't have children using a toilet. Listen, I remember going to a school in East Port of Spain, and the bathroom didn't have a bulb. What? It's pretty jail. So the young girls, when they're using the bathroom, have to leave a crack open, leave the door open, because if they close it, it's pitch black. Yeah. So they leave it open just a little bit to get some light. Yeah. And their friends stand up outside and make sure they're safe. Yeah. All you don't want them thing to be said on international TV, well then don't make it be. Then don't make it be our reality. Yeah. In the year 2022, there is no possible way that a little girl's toilet cannot have a light.
My gosh.
But it is nobody's fault but Trinidad and Tobagonians who choose to be angry at Miss Trinidad and Tobago rather than be angry at PNM, who has run our country for the last 75% of our independence. 75% of our independence has been PNM. Who else you want to blame? So no, there is no room for a third party, but there is certainly room for PNM to go and bring a new party. It is time this country sees the end of PNM. They have had oil boom after oil boom after oil boom. They have had sugar cane. They have had sun, sea, and sun. Other countries use solar power. We have the wind. We have the sun. We have the beach. We have everything. So there is no reason that when reports come in, reports such as the foreign direct investment, let me explain that report. And let me explain what it says. It says that when international investors look and they have money and they go around the Caribbean and they see who we gonna invest in, boy, they choose different people. They give us different grades. We know tests. Trinidadians like tests. That's our education system. Pass a SCA, pass a CXC, pass a common entrance, whatever you want to call it. So we put tests. So the international community put a test, give you ratings. And we know placing too. We place lower than Haiti. International investors, basically what that report says is that international investors are willing to invest in Haiti before they invest in Trinidad and Tobago. We ought to be ashamed. All they want to be angry, don't be angry at Miss Trinidad and Tobago, be angry at a government that could do that to us. Where was the anger when our foreign direct investment ratings came in lower than Haiti, the lowest in the Caribbean? Where was the outrage? Where, Corky?
I don't know.
So Trinidad and Tobago, yes or no, are sounding like Rowley or buffing earlier. And I don't really want a buffet. Hopefully you're more sounding like a mother who loves you and is the discipline out of love. Because I hear fighting. So hopefully I ain't buffing like how Rowley does buff out of arrogance and say, well, look, I could drink alcohol and all they can't do me nothing.
I the boss.
I the boss. Do as I say and not as I do kind of parent. Hush him out, he's a child. Hopefully I'm not that kind of parent.
Yes.
Hopefully I'm buffing you out of just love, out of desperation for you to not go off the cliff. Because Trinidad and Tobago, something has to change. Yes. Something has got to change. We had to do it. And if social media is what we have, social media is what we must use.
Yes.
Go onto Rowley page and say, Rowley must go. Go onto every PNM page, everything and say, Rowley must go. And we must do it until he gets fed up and calls election. And then to my Diego Martin West people, vote him out. He has been there for 30 years. And don't let them fool you with a fresh face. Because that's what he did. That's what they did. When the people got fed up on Manning, he came with false promises and he said he was going to break the PNM mold of corruption. And they bought into the lies. So when he got rid of Amory Brown and Manning and or anybody who resembled Patrick Manning, and anybody who supported Patrick Manning, he got rid of all of them.
Okay.
And PNM supporters drink the Balize juice. And they say, well, yes, because we want a new PNM. Did you get a new PNM? Did you get a prime minister who broke the mold of PNM corruption? Did you? Did you get it? When he stood up in Parliament and he said that Manning must do more than talk about Calder Hart as old talk, and Eric Williams passed off O'Halloran as old talk. Is that why we had no money to save because of O'Halloran? Is that why? Is Alan Warner the new O'Halloran? Did Keith Christopher Rowley break the PNM mold of corruption? We've given them enough time. We don't want no fresh face. We don't want no fresh face again. And they had to go. They just have to go. They just have to go. Because we fell for it. I fell for it. I tell you, I fell for it.
You fell for it.
We say, well, all right, Manning. He bad talk Manning from now till Thy Kingdom come. What? He campaign. I living in Diego Martin West. I grew up in Diego Martin West. All I know is Keith Christopher Rowley as an MP. He campaign. He talk about Manning from now till Thy Kingdom come. He boasts that Manning gets sick because of him, which is why, honestly, I tell you, no way, no how. I understand Brian Manning had to stay PNM, but I was not serving under Keith Christopher Rowley. If I was Brian Manning, no way, partner. I wait it out. Brian Manning younger than Keith Rowley. I would have waited for Keith Rowley to leave and then come back. If you don't want to leave PNM, no problem. But the kinds of filth that came out of Keith Rowley's mouth regarding Patrick Manning, could you imagine that Balizé juice so strong that people willing to be loyal to Balizé over family? I don't like to talk personal things, but that one hurt me. That one hurt me.
Yes.
Because that's your father. So, if it were me, I would have taken a step. I didn't want to betray PNM, no problem. But that man insult your father. That Balizé juice can't be so strong. That Balizé juice can't be so strong that we are willing to support the Balizé over our own family. Because that's what we do when we vote back in PNM, right, Corky? Yeah. That is what we do when we vote back in PNM. We support the Balizé over our own future. Okay. Because when you have no water, when you're living among sewage, and your garbage cannot be collected, because bet your bottom dollar, the family, friends, and financiers do not have to walk down the street or walk up the hill to find a garbage to dump it. The garbage passes by their house every day. And that is the difference. They must respect us. They must give us equality like that. It can't be that the garbage passing in front of one house every day, but I must walk up the hill where it's not safe. And because I'm talking about big yard now. Where where the little girl got shot. We still waiting for that justice. Right? Where we have to walk up the hill where the garbage right next to where the girl got shot. If we want to put garbage into the big bin, and then that's a health hazard because the garbage now overflows. And until you could call the councillor for the councillor to call who she had to call, and it's always a drama to get the garbage collected. It's always a drama to get the garbage collected. The stench is smell the garbage before you see it. That is not what we deserve. And we must respect ourselves more than we respect that Balizé. We must say enough is enough. We must respect ourselves and know that we deserve better. Tego Martin West, you deserve better than Keith Rowley. You deserve your garbage to be collected like a human being. Your children must not play in La Puerta where the garbage bin is. They have a little child living right there. Our children, all they like to talk about Miss Trinidad and Tobago. Boy, if I take videos of the little children playing and the garbage right there, garbage overflowing and massive rats running through the garbage. Avanel Hector said it. She's been to Haiti. She goes all over the world in some of the poorest countries. And you know what she said? It's there on social media for you to see. So me and lying on the girl. She has not seen poverty like what she see in Trinidad. That is somebody in the trenches. That is somebody in the trenches. She went up against Rowley too. And she didn't go up on a Kamla card. So these are some of the harsh truths that we must face. Because when I knock on doors, people like to say, Marsha, we love you, but we ain't like Kamla. So why didn't vote for Avanel Hector? Because she went up on her COP ticket.
Okay.
So what was the excuse for that? Sometimes we have to, I'll take the call. Sometimes we just have to,
yes,
say, maybe, just maybe, we had a part to play in it. Good night, you are live on U975 and douglAR.
Very good evening.
Good evening.
So, I heard you made a statement the other day on Facebook. And Gil, I totally agree with you because when you're little and you're small, your parents always teach you to tell the truth, speak the truth.
Mm-hmm.
And the good book said the truth shall set you free. What everybody upset about? The truth. All the best. Have a great evening.
Same to you. Yeah. And the truth is hard, Corky.
Yes.
The truth could be a
But the truth
bitter
sets you free.
pill to swallow.
Hello?
Good night, you're live on U975 and douglAR Radio.
Good night. Good night, Miss Walker.
Good night.
And Mr. Coffee.
Good evening.
Great program.
Yes.
Thank you.
What we need a change in our country.
We do.
The Rowley regime have failed us.
The whole
And
of PNM.
we need new blood. We need new blood. We need something new, Mr. Cockedy.
Yes, sir.
Why not take Mr. Cockedy? And Mr. Cockedy,
Yes, sir.
support this woman 100%.
I am, yes.
Push prayer till something happens.
Yeah.
All right.
If God can't save him, let him remove him.
We
Psalm
need
35 say fight against them that fight against you.
Okay.
And a lot of people is under trouble, no water, and Miss Moon, the young lady, and everybody criticizing sheep. And with John 8:32 say, and you shall know the truth, and the truth shall set you free.
Yes, yes.
She conscience was clear. Check what's going on in the country. Look into our serious accidents just before Shogunas Day when you're coming from Freeport side on the highway.
Yes.
Two ambulance, fire service struck there like a Prado or something. Serious accidents, and still people not want to listen. They just all the bars full up. Nobody cares. And they still want to bring wine and jam. And are we under a pandemic? Hello?
Yes, we have we have freedom to choose. So who wanna
Yes,
choose?
Mr. Cockedy.
Who wanna
One
choose?
step forward.
Yes.
Play a Peter Tushday.
Yes.
Justice.
We need some prayer too. We need some prayer.
Yeah. Father, now in the name of Jesus.
Yes.
Lord, as me and Cockedy and Miss Walker come in agreement. In the mighty name of Jesus, we plead the blood in our nation, Trinidad and Tobago. We take authority, Lord, in the atmosphere. Lord, you appoint and you disappoint, Lord. Lord, you say, hear my cry, O Lord, attend unto my prayer from the end of the earth. Lord, there are troubled hearts in this nation. So let not your heart be troubled. Father, we thank you, Lord, for a peace of mind, a peace that passeth all understanding. I thank you for victory. I thank you, Lord, something new is about to take place. We clear the atmosphere. We plead the blood. We assign your angel. Say, he that dwelleth in the secret place of the Most High shall abide under the shadow of the Almighty. We thank you, Lord. Lord, as Psalm 46 says, God is a very present and help in trouble. We thank you for deliverance, setting your people free in this and Tobago. We thank you, Father. Those who are spellbound, those who are muzzled, those who cannot speak, we lift them up. We lift every minister, every representative, Lord, in the government, in the opposition. We pray, Lord, for clarity. We pray for change in the mighty name of Jesus. Let the wind blow, let the fire fall. In Jesus' mighty name.
Amen.
Amen. Bye-bye. Thank you.
So
Thank
we
you,
agree.
sir.
Yes.
Thank you,
What? Powerful prayer there, man.
Yeah.
Marsha.
Well, listen.
Mm-hmm.
No. I believe in prayer.
Yes.
But. And
We
I
need
didn't
more
say,
prayers. More prayers we need. Hello, welcome.
Hello, good night, Ms.
Good night.
Walker.
Yes, good night.
Pleasant good night to you and Corky.
Yes. Thank you.
The topics tonight very interesting, I must say.
Thank you very much.
Ms. Walker, you being the true MP for the Diego Martin West people. I follow you a lot on the Facebook, and I see the work that you are putting in, right? And it's just unfortunate that Rowley he receives the salary for it.
And he has the treasury because I don't have the resources of the that would have been allocated to Diego Martin West. I wish I had them so I could really do some more work.
But some of the persons in Diego Martin West, when you watch places like Goodwood Park and these places, when you watch those places and how they are kept, as opposed to other places in Diego Martin West, like the La Preltas and the Carnage and the Bagatelles, those areas, when you watch those areas, you can see why crime is so high in these areas.
Yeah. And would you believe that the areas that are, so when you talk about the Westmorelands, etc., right? Do you know that when you look at the figures, the voting figures, they don't vote for PNM, huh?
Of course, of course.
So
of
even
course,
within just Diego Martin West, the poorest areas are actually the PNM strongholds. The areas that get the most votes are the poorest areas. That just goes to show they take advantage of that loyalty, boy. They take advantage.
So, but not only that, Miss Marsha. Now, with reference to this government is surely abusing the poor and underprivileged people.
Yeah.
Okay, look at a simple march in Port of Spain. Look what went on.
Yeah.
Look what went on. You tear gas. So the use of force policy. What is going on with that?
Yep.
Right. So citizens in this country has no right to be heard again. We must not talk.
Yeah.
We must not stand up for our rights. But again,
our democracy is definitely under threat, and our citizens have to fight it.
As the late Yasin Abubakar used to say, it is not a democracy. It is a mockery, a democracy. These office holders, these are persons in government, and Mr. Brian Manning, I am for me, if one disrespects my father in such a way, I could never serve under him.
Yeah.
I could never serve. So I am saying you don't intend to hold your father legacy at all. You don't. Come on, let me be real. But Miss Marsha and Corky, you will continue to keep up the good work.
Yes.
And
We will. Thank you very much.
we in the country, we looking on and hoping for changes.
But don't hope. Work for it. You join us in the fight. You do your part as well. Let us all join in the fight.
Yes, thanks.
All right, thank you. Enjoy your
Thank
night.
you. You too. Corky ain't hanging up.
Yeah.
Oh God, did I just hang up somebody who tried to call?
No.
Okay, because I saw it light up. Corky leaving me on my own. He making me hang up my own calls and then. Corky, are you preparing me? Are you like maybe gonna set me up and not come
Yes,
one day?
everyone inside here has to get some form of training.
Okay, all right.
Yes.
Well, I shall learn.
Yeah.
I shall learn. Oh, you see, Corky? Oh my gosh! Please call back. I am so sorry. Please call back. I hung you up by accident. Corky laughing at me, you know, y'all. Corky is laughing at me. 218. Okay, they're calling back. Good night. How are you? This is Marsha Walker.
Good night, Marsha Walker. Corky, good night. And keep your finger to you got enough people, man.
Yeah, I know. Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry.
That ain't nothing.
Corky
What
making
I
me
call
learn
to-
all these. If you see, it's a set of numbers, a set
I
of
know.
button.
Okay. What I call to say, Corky and Marsha, I understand a letter was sent to the Commissioner of Police for that gas throwing business.
Yes, there was a pre-action protocol letter sent.
But, right. And I am sure, I put my head on a block, Marsha, that they're going to win that case. So I am asking the lawyer, don't let me and Marsha and Corky and the people pay. Ask the police themselves who threw it, who gave the order, let they take it money out of their pocket and pay. There was a
Well,
case.
that one we might have to. I don't know. We could certainly. I'm not a lawyer, so I have no idea what's the precedence for that.
Well, I'm going to tell you that. We live under the law England still and Australia. And I was reading up on a case like that. And the man in Australia, the lawyer, asked for the MP to pay out of his pocket. The man ended up a pauper.
Very good.
He ended up a pauper.
Yes.
I mean, she, sorry. She ended up a pauper.
Okay.
But so I am asking the Rambali to let the Commissioner of Police who give the order and the police who threw it, because I'm sure they know what they were going there to do.
No, I agree.
wrong.
I agree with that. If that is really something that can happen, I agree
Yes.
with that. Because Al-Rawi has always say every time he lose a case, it's like it don't matter because it not coming out of his pocket
It's
anyway.
not coming out of his pocket, yeah. And the next thing is that I tell Lennox Smith and them fellas, and I'm telling Ali again, they come there to look for trouble. They leave the station with riot gears to come there.
Of course.
If they were there and then they see a riot and pelt and they go back for the thing, no problem. But let's come there for trouble.
Yeah.
Have a nice night and
Same to you. Same to you. 218-7762. I am told there is standstill traffic on the highway. Oh my gosh.
Hello.
Does that mean that my husband is going to be late
Hello?
for me? Yes, good night. How are you? You
Good
are
night,
live with Marsha Walker.
Yes, Marsha Walker and Corky. Boy,
Yes.
Jill, tell me, boy, Jill, for the past weeks I'm trying to call you, but oh God, you know, one thing I just call in to tell you is let people be short and sweet now. That's all I want to tell you. You said I'm talking long.
Well, I don't want to cut anybody off.
No.
The
sometimes
police
you
has
have to-
already cut everybody's voice off.
No, short and sweet. Get to the point and move on. That's all I want to tell you. Right? Nice program, I enjoy it, but other people want to get team. Just three not trying to get team. Have a great night.
All right.
To you. Thank you.
Yes, you got to keep it short and sweet.
218-7762. 218-7762. Are we ending the night with calls? Yes, we are. Good night. How are you? You are live on U975 and douglAR Radio.
Good night again, Corky and
Yes.
Miss Marsha.
Hi.
Good night.
Miss Marsha, we were talking about Rowley must go.
Mm-hmm.
You see on the vegetable store in the market, in all the markets and them in Trinidad and Tobago who sell vegetable, $5 a pound for bygone, $3 a pound for aloo, and Rowley must go. And you see when you put out the backyard, they can say we protested, we advertising. Because,
I like it. Yes.
Yes, no, because if you go out there in the backyard, right? And then we see how much PNM supporters win by. Yeah, 2 pounds pepper, $5 a heap. Rowley must go.
I like
Double,
it.
$6 for one. Rowley must go.
No, what we should do is offer the doubles, offer it at discounts. So anybody who come with a Rowley must go t-shirt, they get a discount. That's what we must do.
Yeah, so and when advertise the price, because the high price, $6, Rowley must go and they get a discount.
Right, yes. I like it. I like that idea.
Yeah, and this is how we have to be proactive. Because right now, Jacob, you know, who is them training with them high-powered rifle, and Mervyn Dillon, right? Edmund Dillon, right?
Yeah.
He's in Venezuela. But I wonder what them thing what is becoming in the pouch, the diplomatic pouch. I wonder if it has anything to do with Delcy Rodriguez and the Gardil and them. Because they're hiding everything. And I wonder if he could come and answer about the corruption and them. Everybody talking about corruption and they're hiding it. What Edmund Dillon? He's like PNM. He goes out soon. Good night.
Good night. So we're gonna go on a quick break, a very, very quick break. Oh, Corky telling me.
We've got only 4 minutes to go.
Okay, Corky. But okay, hold on.
Yes.
What?
Drop.
Okay. Oh, sorry.
Yes.
All right. So Corky,
Yes, ma'am.
I heard there traffic on the highway.
Yes, Captain Kendall is on his way. He's taking up the shift after us. And there's lots of traffic, so he'll be a bit late. That's all right. We'll just load some nice music.
Okay.
Until they reach. We've got a call coming in.
Yes.
Hello, welcome.
Good night. You are live on U97.
Yes, Miss Walker. I called just now. I want to find out something again. Last week you would have discussed a topic. You had a young lady calling sometime after. What is the latest to that? Any follow-up for the country? Hello, Ms. Walker?
Yes.
Hello?
Yes.
Yes.
Is that with the food card?
No, not with the food card. The lady was said she husband in jail and all them sort of stuff.
Okay, it's not a situation of following up. She has a lawyer, so that is something where actually that is a law that we are fighting for. And of course, as I said, you would have seen the Prime Minister. He came onto television and he's talked about it on his campaign trails. Oh, UNC want to pass a law to free murderers and stuff. So it's not something that's gonna be fought right away.
Right, understood.
Yeah.
Understood.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. So that is all I want to know.
Yeah.
All
So
right,
it is something that is it is something that is in the pipeline.
Right.
Yes.
All right.
Thanks for calling.
All right. Okay, is that our last caller? 218-7762. Corky, are you gonna give me my song before we go?
Oh yes, that's lined up already.
Yeah, what song is that?
That's the song that you told me in the beginning.
Which song is that? Let me see if you can remember.
You see, you forgot.
No, I want to know if you remembered
It's
it.
kindness for weakness.
Oh no, that yeah. I mean, that was his song for Kamla. Yes, okay, yes.
There it is.
Yes, okay.
Now many men will try to tell you bad things about me.